Yo, what's good, dude? What's good, party people? What's good? I'm running a little bit late this morning, and I'm sorry. We had a marathon last night on the Knicks at Night podcast. Had somebody, one of the homies was offended, and I wanted to settle that before we parted ways. You know what I'm saying? You know how you say peace, peace before you dip? We just wanted to make sure there was peace before we dipped. Right? We just wanted to make sure that it was all peace, peace before we parted ways. Shout out to Kev W. Kev W said, "Yo, Uncle Freezy, yo, you not feeling me? You not hearing me? You not hearing me, man? All you want to do is talk about what you want to talk about, Uncle Freezy." And I'm like, "Nah, man, that ain't never it. I don't do this just to hear myself talk. I'm comfortable being by myself. You know what I mean? I'm not one that need to hear myself talk. I'm comfortable to myself. And that's word. You know, I don't need a marching band. I don't need a whole bunch of bells and whistles. Foy Trey, what's good? Point five, what's good? What's good? So I don't need saying all that stuff in order for me to be peace with myself. But I do enjoy other people's company though. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to, when Kev was making his points and stuff, I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't feeling it. Right. And sometimes it's gonna be like that. Sometimes it's gonna be like that, man. Sometimes it's gonna be like, and sometimes you're gonna be in a situation where somebody's gonna be saying something to you and you just don't see their point of view. It happens. It happens. I mean, it happens, y'all. So I think T. Williams was good. I think we're gonna have I think we're gonna have a conflict of yo, Corey Lee, what's good? I think we're gonna have a conflict of schedule Saturday. So we may have to postpone something. I think we're gonna have to postpone things Saturday. So I'm looking at the Saturday, February. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, Friday. I'm sorry, Saturday, February 6th. The Portland Trail Blazers are at the New York Knicks. So we may not be able to do our beef at the regular scheduled time, 11:45. We may have to jump on a little bit earlier. So then I'm looking to see if the Knicks have a game Friday. No, I don't see a game Friday. I don't see a game Friday. Let's see if the Knicks have a game Sunday. The Knicks are at the Heat Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday, we have games. So I won't be able to do the debate joint on Saturday. I may, however, do it earlier in the afternoon Saturday. Felipe 210, what's good? Our Future Gaming. I see you. I see you. I see y'all out there. Right? Man, it's mad cold down here in the South. To my family up north, what y'all doing? Y'all trying to share that shit? Y'all trying to share that bad weather with us? I'm not feeling that, boss. I'm not feeling that. Moved down here for a reason. Robert Paul, what's good? What's good? So, in this weird twist of thing that's going on here lately, the past couple of days, not just here. I'm here to say Yeah, I don't want us being crusty with each other. MIG, Mig, what's good? T Money Knicks, what's good? What's good? What's the word? What's the word, fam? So I'm trying to put these t-shirts and stuff together. Not for us to make $1 million, but so that we can rep for each other. You know how it'll tickle my fancy to see MIG on Twitter rocking a Knicks Morning Drive shirt, something that says "In the building" on the front. You know what I'm saying? That'll tickle my fancy. You know what I mean? It'll tickle my fancy. It's good on the front. MySpace Invader, you think that's funny? MySpace Invader says, "What's good?" Yo, what's good? Hey, that's funny, MySpace Invader. That's funny. All right. Hey. Oh, wow. Yo, for all the new people, I don't know. My internet seems like it wants to misbehave. So I may have to reset again and start all over. But if I do, y'all be patient with me. I'm looking at it, it's blinking crazy. So I may have to reset. But yo, so everybody, RKL Brisk, y'all welcome RKL Brisk to the chat. Y'all put some thumbs up or some clap emojis in the chat for our new people. Stephen Fox, bro, I needed you last night, man. I needed you. Like I had a feeling like when we were all on together that things were gonna get a little sensitive. Is the word I want to put it. Because when I came on last night, I was a little touchy because I felt like an agenda was being pushed down our throats, right? And I believe in free thinkers. I want people to think for themselves, man. Listen, I'm a free thinker. And I get it honest. Don't make me tell my family story again. Don't don't make me tell that story again, man. I don't want to tell that story about my great. Yo, that's funny. It's funny. George Alvarez, what's good? Yo, smash that like button, man. Smash that like button. Get these likes up. Okay. Get these likes up also. I've been wanting to start back saying that too, to get these likes up. So get these likes up so that we can continue to grow this channel so people can find us. So people can find us, man. You know what I mean? Because what we want to do is make sure we can continue to grow. Because what this is you know, we do this for the fam, you know, and we want to continue to have our family grow and put out a dope product for our family. You know what I'm saying? But Foxy, we needed you last night, bro. Things got mighty sensitive with Cav W, and I had the feeling all night. I mean, as soon as the show started, that we were going to be a little bit touchy, right? I had the feeling. I had the feeling because what it was on the Knicks at Night podcast from earlier today, from 11:45, and we should generally jump on 11:45 every night. But I had a feeling from the time we jumped on that people that a few of us wanted to push agendas, And that's not a bad thing, by the way. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that maybe their agenda hadn't been heard for a while, and they just wanted to make sure that it was heard. Like what they had to say was out there in the Lawrence Tears universe too. In fairness to them, they wanted to be heard too, and that's why we do this. They want to be heard, right? But it's everything. It's two sides. It's two sides or multiple sides to conversations and multiple layers, or it should be multiple layers to a conversation. If a conversation is just basic, you know, then I don't really want to be, what I'm saying, a part of that. Hey, Gary Miller, what's good? So I got a few things. I got a few lines in the water that I mentioned just now. So for one, I was talking about us doing some swag for our family, like some family reunion shirts, basically. Some family reunion shirts where it'll have like sayings from the Lawrence Tears family, right? Like maybe some sayings from Stephen Fox, some sayings from Kev W, some sayings from Uncle Freezy. You know what I'm saying? Some sayings from Chuck D. Like for instance, seeing Gary Miller with a Knicks at Night podcast shirt with a Chuck D quote, like, first of all, you trash. So I don't know if we'll use that one, but I just want to I just want to use that as an example. Right. So I just wanted to. So keep that in mind. That's something that I want to work on. I'll probably work on that this weekend. I've been working with a guy about getting us some stuff to put out there, some shirts, some family reunion stuff to represent. Right. Sin Miz, what's good? What's good? Top of the morning, boss. Hey, Foxy, Kev W says I don't give him time to talk, or said last night that I don't give him time to talk, and I keep cutting him off, and I wouldn't let him say his thing. What does that sound like to you, Foxy? Is that accurate? Do I not let Kev W speak, and do I keep cutting him off? I just need an honest opinion, because my opinion is this: not only do I let Kev W talk, I will move out of the way and let him, and I encourage him. I even told him that the intro for the Knicks at Night podcast should say the Knicks at Night podcast with Stephen Fox and Kev W. Or maybe I misread the situation. Maybe Kev W wants more, and I didn't see it. Maybe I should have talked to him on the side, and asked if he wanted more responsibility with the joint. But last night I read it as, he wants to talk. He wants to turn it into the Knocks at Night podcast, and I just am frustrated with it, with the Knicks at Night podcast turning into the Knocks at Night podcast. But we settled it though. I think we settled it. But what I don't want to do is have it be, say, a beef between he and I, and then have it be uncooked. I don't want it to be that, because we get here. It's not we don't want to present a pissing contest. What we want to do is provide a platform for Knicks fans to come and have their say be heard, and B, remember that we're putting out a quality product for the Lawrence Tears Knicks universe. Mindspace Invader says the Knocks at Night podcast is hot. That's funny. Samir says knowledge to the gods and universal fam. Bam. Bam. What do you think, Foxy? And so Hey, so Foxy says you don't want to get in the middle of a bromance, Kev W and Kevin Knox. Hey, I know this, and I try not to. But Big Dog, when you hear the same points over and over every night, you want to say, and I'm not saying that Kev W is not smart, because he is. Kevin Smart is very smart, very intelligent. And there's a difference between smart and intelligent, in my opinion. So being intelligent is one thing. Being smart incorporates intelligence and other things. Yo, CP the artist is in the building. What's good? Adele Chapman, what's good? George Alvernia, what's good? White Falcon, what's good? What's good? So what I didn't want to do with Kev W is make it seem like I'm a tyrant. And so to be clear, in most cases, I don't care if people view me as a tyrant. It don't bother me. That don't bother me. I'm not touchy nor sensitive like that. Because as the custodian of stuff, sometimes I have to be in that role to protect those things. Right? Sometimes I can be that way in my custodian role of protecting stuff. If something's important and it needs to be protected, I'm going to do that. And sometimes I might come across a little strong, but I don't care. Like for instance, and I'm not bragging about anything, y'all. I just want y'all to be with me. Stay with me just for a second to hear me out. So something like, for instance, when it comes to the Knicks at Night podcast, when it comes to the Knicks Morning Drive, I'm gonna protect this stuff because this is not something that I built, but this is something that we all built together, right? So sometimes I get in my tyrant role because I want to protect it, right? Because I want us to continue to have something dope, right? And I don't want to see what we all worked for go by the wayside for somebody for say a few bad decisions, right? And I know y'all are wondering, like, where is this going? So, all right. So our Knicks have a similar issue with a tyrant and a young, talented dude named Kevin. Oh, I got y'all. Y'all didn't see that one coming, right? So the Knicks have a tyrant having issue with a young dude named Kevin who also feels like he needs more time. I think I'm getting pretty good at this drawing parallels thing. I impressed myself just now. I impressed myself just now with that one. Right? So while Uncle Freezy sometimes comes across as heavy-handed, the heavy-handed hype machine tyrant looking to protect this thing, and a young up and coming whippersnapper with all the talent in the world named Kev feels like he needs more run. Right? Hey, you know what? I'm G enough to say, hey, Kev, listen, have your run. Last night, I took everybody off the screen and I let Kev eat for as long as he felt like going. Uninterrupted. I was like, hey, just go. Say what you want to say. Right. Right. Will Tom Thibodeau do that to Kevin Knox? I don't think so. I don't think so. Tom Thibodeau is a different type of custodian. He's a different type caretaker, right? He's a different type caretaker. Like he's not flexible like Uncle Freezy, right? He's not flexible like Uncle Freezy is. I want to get into that. Is Tom Thibodeau flexible? Thing. So the thumbnail. So what I want to talk about too, and primarily though, is what path do we take? Do we take the red path or the green path? Do we take the red developmental path, the slow pace, build real slow? You know what I'm saying? Add prospects, add young talent, in hopes of one day detouring and getting back on the green path? Or do we stay on the green path right now, all eyes on a championship? Stephen Fox says, ghetto intellect, that's what happens when you put on a guy who can't handle his weed, talks to, oh, man, Freezy knows I'm, oh, okay, yeah. All right, I know where you're going with that. I see, I saw where Foxy was going with that. All right. I saw where you were going with that. Right. I saw where you're going with that. I thought, hey, to be honest with you, I thought some things had changed. Wrong. So the ghetto intellect says you was not supposed to read that one, Freezy. I know. It cannot. When Stephen Fox puts stuff up, I'm always clicking and reading his stuff. Foxy is like the Mark Berman of our chat in terms of cachet, not in terms of content. You know, Mark Berman, I mean, whatever. I don't know him, so I don't judge him. But so tomorrow morning, y'all come jump in. Jonathan Macri will be here for a segment for probably about 10, 15, 20 minutes. Right. For about 10, 15, 20 minutes, who knows. It's always fun talking with him, right? So shout out to Jonathan Macri and the Knicks Film School. Jonathan Macri is a delight to speak to or speak with, or both. Jonathan Macri is a delight to speak with, man. He's a sharp young cat with his finger on the pulse of what's going on. You know, we may not agree with everything he writes, but at least he has perspective. He is not a bang the table Knicks fan like some of us are going to say. Kevin Knox needs to play. Right. Chef NYK was good. F. Burrow was good. Sudanam Squeepay was good. Was good. Hey, so I need to put this invite here in the chat because I've been talking like a little chatterbox. But I've been in a little chatterbox for a little bit, right? So I'm going to put this out here and open the door, right? But I'm also going to do this.
I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal for how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speak in the God.
Man, every time I hear that joint, man.
No, it's so fire, Freeze.
Yeah, man. What's up, G.I.? What's happening?
Well, top of the morning to you. If you will allow, boss, I would like to start off maybe 10 or 15 minutes off screen while I get this bow tie tied and get myself going. Overslept a little bit. I wanted to get up about 8:15 and be on cam by 8:45, 9 o'clock. I missed my deadline. If I get docked and pay, I understand if I need to fall down from the screen, but But if you'll allow, if not, I could go to the back till I get it together.
Hey, man. Hey, get yourself together, boss. Get yourself together. Do your thing.
Good.
Do your thing.
So you'll allow me to stay up like this for now?
Hey, man. Hey, man. Do your thing, boss. This your show. I'm the co-pilot. I mean, I don't have a choice.
No. But the best thing about life is the more you follow protocol, the more successful things become. And one more is a good leader knows how to follow as well.
Right.
Some people only know how to quote unquote lead.
Right. Oh, bulk orders. Yeah.
But until you have mastered the concept of following,
right,
you'll never be a successful leader.
Right.
Ever.
I agree with you, boss.
So another spirited show last night. But more important, show aside. I want to say good win because all wins are good.
Right.
So I try to keep it in perspective. But I still see some shortcomings that remind me that this roster can only go but so far. So I'm glad you started the conversation, and I'm gonna throw this back to you now that my introduction is done. Good morning to the chat. Good morning to Foxy, who continues to be, like I said, you are the founder of this thing, but you weren't arrogant enough to try to be the founder and CEO. So you said, look, I'm gonna take this chairman of the board seat, and I'm gonna go out and hire me a CEO. And I think you made a great hire, Freezy. So good morning to Foxy. And
you mean for the Knicks morning drive? So for the Knicks morning drive, it was excellent because you gotta do what's organic, right? So this dude, Ghetto Intellect, shows up from out of nowhere, right? And in my eye, right, he shows up from out of nowhere, and then I hear him speak. I'm like, oh snap! So that's what we used to say back in the day. Oh snap! You know what I'm saying? So for those that are a little younger, y'all might not understand what old snap means.
They don't get that.
So I hear this fella Ghetto Intellect speak, right? And I'm like, oh snap! And this dude is sharp, right? So I'm calm. I keep cool. I keep my cool. Right? Because it's the same feeling that I have about CP the Artist. I've heard CP the Artist on other joints, and when I hear CP the Artist talk, I'm like, oh snap! But anyway, I ain't gonna go into CP the Artist thing. I'm gonna just talk about Ghetto Intellect. So I hear him, he come on, and then I found out he frat, right? So then I'm like, okay, so I know he understands order and protocols, right? Because if he didn't, he does if he's been going to meetings and stuff. So okay, got him. Okay, so then he comes on and is relevant, right? Like we talking, and this dude is relevant. This dude is talking about the Knicks and the street at the same time to let people know his background so they can understand why his opinions are original to him, right? So I'm like, oh, this is dope. So I'm like, every time I see his name in the chat, I immediately throw the link in, right? I immediately throw the link in the chat. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I'm hoping this dude would come on and just be on with me, just be on. And it's the same thing I did with Stephen Fox and some others. The same thing. Because it's one thing putting the link out there and then people coming on like, yo, Alfred Payton can't shoot.
Yeah.
Frank Ntilikina need more minutes. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Knox.
Tibbs is holding Knox back.
Right. How many times can we? I mean, come on, man. How many times? I mean, you said it on Twitter and retweeted it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You say it every day, and then you come on here and say the same. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like people, oh, we need to trade Julius Randle. Oh man, come on. Stop with the basic conversations. So it's a few of y'all. It's about 15 to 20 people that when I see them, you know, I get excited. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying about Foxy, but the feeling is also, you know what I'm saying, is goes your way too. So y'all shout out the ghetto intellect. You know what I'm saying? For being, a much needed part of the Knicks morning drive.
Oh, you're too kind. Way too kind.
Even yo, but I ain't gonna shoot you the gas. I'm from Jersey, man. I ain't gonna shoot you the gas. I ain't just gonna fluff you up for nothing. You know what I'm
Oh, I
saying?
know that. I know that.
But anyways, what I wanted to kind of get to is this or that. What path are we on? Right? This has been this conversation is not the one that I really want to have because y'all know my stance. I'm double parked. I got a pot of beans on the stove.
Yeah, you want to win. You want to win till the cows come home.
I want to start right now. Right now, I don't care nothing about no prospects. Don't be telling me nothing about no guy. And I monitor them, right? And a couple of them I wouldn't mind having. But in February, man, I want to win out the rest of the schedule. I'm double parked. You know what I'm saying? I want to win. I don't want to talk about the future. I want to talk about the now.
I hear you. I hear you.
Because I was a little kid when the Knicks won championships. So those aren't mine. Those are my uncle. You know what I'm saying? I want my own joint. I'm waiting it like 50 years, dog. Do you know how long that is? Hey, GI, my internet is looking like it's wanting to do something. I'm gonna have to reset my stuff. I'm gonna hop out for a quick second and jump right back in.
Got it. I'll take over.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do this real quick. It shouldn't take nothing but about a minute.
I'll be right here. So good morning to the chat. I just want to tell y'all, man, you know what? That's good. Give me time to have a conversation. First of all, y'all been too kind to me. And when y'all see me around, y'all give me props. And I want to make sure I return those props. You know, Foxy, I mean everything I said. To the night crew, I love you guys. So if you see me in the chat trolling you a little bit, it's not due to disrespect. It's just letting you know that I'm being a viewer at that time and I'm challenging the product. And I hope if I'm ever on and you don't like the way my product is going, that you'll challenge me as well. Because at the end of the day, it's about the listener who still will never hit a chat or video chat and don't have time to hit the video chat. But this product is important to them because we get decent amount of views. I do a lot on YouTube. And some people die to get 35, 40 people. I mean, their career, their YouTube career will be set if they can turn it on and average 35, 40 people. This thing averages 80 to 100, and I've seen it peak all the way up to 200. So, you know, I just challenge, you know, let's continue to challenge each other, and that's how we'll put out great product. And you never know where this thing could go. But just to the chat, man, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys, how good you are. We're going to get some good conversation going this morning. I like where Freezy is going. I don't want to get too far ahead of it. Want to save my thoughts, but it's definitely going to become a time. And I know some of you want to fade for Cade. Some of you want to get to that 6th playoff seat. And I think that the bottom is fading for Cade. And I think if you're realistic, the height of the season is the 6th playoff seat. And so if you fall in the middle, you could potentially get the 6th pick in the draft. And then you'll say you wish you faded for Cade. Or you push all the way through, hey, maybe you get that 10th spot in the playing game. And you lose that playing game probably pretty bad to the right team. So, you know, it's just a lot to think about. What makes, I guess, you know, some people want, you know, prime rib and others want the center cut filet mignon. So we need to continue to have the conversations. We read the chat while it goes down. And it's probably going to be a pretty interesting morning because we're winning too many games by 20. And to find ourselves struggling to finish the game out to win, you know, reality's got to set in for us at some point that our roster is only but so good. And, you know, I really do personally want to see Kevin Knox get his opportunity to play this year. And so, you know, but I can tell you what, I one thing, and Freezy said it already, Tibbs is linear. very linear. He wants to win every game, every night. And he wants to leave knowing he played his best guys and gave his best opportunity to win that game. That's the only way he'll accept losses. So putting out a lesser product for the sake of development, I don't know what it would take for him to grasp that. I don't. I think he probably says, yo, to the management, yo, give me off season. Let's wait till off season. Let's give guys to work in our program. We'll have our coaches now that are in place. COVID may be over. Hopefully will be over. It looks like it's trending towards being over, even though still rough. We're still in some rough times. So, I don't know. I don't know. But again, I don't want to get too far away from the topic. Here he goes. Floor is yours.
All right. Man, GI is good at this thing, y'all. GI is very good at this thing. GI knows what strings to pull, you know what I'm saying, to get the best performance. I mean, that was dope. I legit got lost in the moment just now. For real.
I'm glad you didn't, because I needed you to come back because I didn't want to get too far off the topic.
My man G.I. did. I was like, I'm listening to my man. I'm like, man, this dude is good. So we have to pick a path, right? What Knicks fans fear. What Knicks fans fear. Hey, yo, as soon as I was about to reset my modem, Mocha tells me the Spectrum guy is outside. So I didn't reset the modem. I'm just gonna rock until something happens. Clearly, one of my neighbors must have called the Spectrum guy to have him come out. They must be having issues as well. So we'll see how far we can get. But at the same time, Knicks fans, pick a path and go with it. Pick a path and go with it. Stop playing. Stop playing. Dolan reads everything that we put out there. Dolan reads every tweet, for every Facebook post, everything. He's sensitive like that. In his quest to please y'all, he reads everything. He listens to y'all. Right? Here's my thing. I want to win right now. What the ghetto intellect said was spot on. We have a base of talent that can keep us in games with anybody for a limited amount of time. Right? We have a roster right now that can, in a coaching staff, that's talented enough to keep us in games with anybody for a while. But we don't have enough talent to finish. Right? So we can get into a game, we can get into a fist fight with the LA Clippers. At the end of the day, their talent will subdue us. Right? Their talent will subdue us. We can get into a tussle, with the Utah Jazz, but by the fourth quarter, their talent will subdue us. Right? All the good teams in the East have seen how good we can be at our peak, but they understand that if in a four quarter game, the Knicks doesn't have the dogs to finish. They see Julius Randle doubled over towards the end of the fourth quarter, and Julius Randle is in great shape, man. But we just don't have the dogs to finish games.
And that's nobody's fault.
Right.
That's nobody's fault.
Right. And so we were in a situation where do we and this is the situation right here. This is what it is. So the roster is not deep enough for us to make those next steps, right? And it's the reason why Tom Thibodeau doesn't play the rookies as much, in my opinion, because any misstep in a game can lose us the game, right? And we don't have a margin for error, a big margin for error. If we come in and Obi Toppin and Kevin Knox turn the ball over 3 times and the other team scores 5 points on that, we don't have the talent to overcome 5-point deficits like that consistently. We don't have a go-to scorer. We don't have a Bradley Beal. We don't have a James Harden. We don't have a Steph Curry, a Dame Lillard. We don't have that yet. Not in their current states. So Knicks fans are watching that and they'll think, so if we don't have the talent to do it, why not just hit the reset button, let the young kids play, let them develop by trying to win these games over these also random journeymen. And I agree with them on that. I want the young guys. I want the people that's going to be under contract. I want the future to be here. Right? I want the future that's going to be here to get the most minutes is what I want. If you're going to be here, I want you to get the most minutes. But at the same time, I want these guys to win. If we can win with Kevin Knox, Obi Toppin, Frank Ntilikina, and Dennis Smith Jr., by all means, let's do it. But we can't. Those guys hadn't proven to anybody that they can win anything. Kevin Knox has been in the NBA. This is his 3rd season. He has never been to the playoffs. Frank Ntilikina, DSJ, have been here 4 years, or this is their 4th season. They have never been to the playoffs. Obi Toppin's a rookie. Right? I'm gonna just do some housekeeping real quick. Hold on. Excuse me. So my thing is I don't want to take a step backwards for the sake of maybe potentially taking 2 steps forward. I would rather take 1 step at a time. That's what I want. What's good, darling? What's good? I would prefer to take 1 step at a time. I don't want to take 1 step backwards to potentially take 2 steps forwards, because it doesn't always work. For every team like the for every team like the Toronto Raptors, there's a team like the Orlando Magic. For every team like the Golden State Warriors, there's a Detroit Pistons. Right? I don't want to take the chance of taking a step back to take 2 steps forward. Not with this team. Not with this team. No. I would rather take 1 step at a time. I would rather shore up the backup point guard position, right? Elf gotta go, right? I would rather go get us a point guard, a veteran point guard right now. And I don't care if he's old as Methuselah. I don't care if the point guard's old as Methuselah. Y'all hear me? Yo, look who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the pretty boy, DJ Cash is in the building. Yo, CP the artist.
Top
What's
of the morning
good?
to you.
Morning.
Still
Good morning.
Still praying for you, King.
Good morning.
Praying everything's getting better.
So salute to CP the artist and DJ Cash. I hope y'all brothers doing good this morning.
Doing
CP
great,
the
man.
artist, nice to see you. I didn't see who that
Good,
was.
man.
Nice to meet you, brother.
All right. Salute, King. All right.
Yeah, man.
Love.
So CP the artist is the power forward of the morning joint.
Yo, I'm sick of the Taj Gibson
Oh no, no. Oh, look, hey, you know what? When I said, as soon as I got forward out, as soon as I got the word forward out, it just dawned on me that cats were saying Taj Gibson. That's not even where I was going, but
I get that Common, Joe Button, who I work for, and Taj Gibson. How about that? It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Hey, so shout out to all those brothers, man. Me and Joe Button are from the same neighborhood. So and he probably don't even remember me. I don't even remember him. I just heard him say like some streets and some neighborhoods that he used to be in, and I'm like, man, that's what,
Yeah, you too old for Joe Budden, for
Yeah, man. I done stomped that yard already where he was coming through. But anyways, so my thing, guys, is this. I don't want to wait on draft picks to develop in 2 or 3 years. Man, I'm double parked, right? Like old people used to say, like old people down here, they say, hey, hurry up. I got a pot of beans on the stove. And I used to go look on the stove. I'm like, ain't no beans up here. You know what I'm saying? They like, no, fool. It's a saying. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I got a pot of beans on the stove, man. I need to hurry up. Because those championships that the Knicks won, even though I was alive, they're not mine. You know what I'm saying? I was too young to understand what was going on. I was too young to enjoy it, right? But then you fast forward 50 years, and you're like, man, come on.
It's crazy. I'm going through that same dilemma right now because I just turned 45 years old, and I'm talking to younger Knicks fans who have these channels, and usually they're like 33, their era. I'm like, you never even knew what good was, because most of their era was the 2000 Knicks, which was horrible. At least we knew the 90s Knicks, the 80s Knicks, whatever, that we had some type of opportunity to win something.
Right.
Unfortunately, we had the Jordan era. The problem is that we have a younger generation of Knicks fans who they feel like there's time to wait, and then we are in our 40s, 50s, like our time isn't promised to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we kind of want it now. Now it's like this unhealthy relationship that we have. It's like being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like you meet somebody and you're feeling the vibe, whatever. I'm like, yo, I want either I get married quickly, or down the road mess up because I acted too quick.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like you don't fools rush in. Fools rush in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, and let's get to the Knicks. Tom Thibodeau, in my opinion, he's showing me everything I feared when we hired him. I knew he was a win now coach. I knew he was a coach that didn't value younger players being in the roster, and he's showing it right now. And in my old fart days, which I'm an old fart now officially. if you could smell me on this, Tom Thibodeau and I feel Leon Rose, they are in the ages, and the higher that they put together is for this time frame, maybe 5 years, of making it into the playoffs and eventually competing. And we're seeing this with the roster, where Emmanuel quickly is not starting. Frank Knox got the axe. They're on the bench. And this is for a reason. Tom Thibodeau, and getting back to your point, Freezy, is in that mindset. I don't have that much time. I'm 60-something years old. I got time for these kids to develop. I want the best people on the court right now. And that's my point.
What about you, Cash?
I hear you, Chief. It's like time is like a river, man. It flows in one direction. And again, just as you mentioned, if men of a certain age like myself, I'm going to be double nickels this year. You want to see it now. You don't have time. Whereas, from the perspective of a young person, like you said, it's like, oh, let's take the time and build and build and build. No, let's see this thing move. I mean, it's just like, for an example, when now in this day and age with technology, like in construction, they have these prefab houses. Usually, you have the foundation, and then you got to go here and here. They got stuff where they can bring it in quickly, and boom, the house is done. Right. So that may be a path that we can consider. I mean, yeah, okay, we do have some young good pieces, but also too, in the process of building, some pieces fall by the wayside, or else you may have to discard them because they're not of use. So I think this thing, it could be accelerated to get us to where we need to be, to have that winning culture, of what we've seen back in the days, back in the '90s in particular, where we were competing for a title. So, hopefully, thinking about Leon Rose and how the chess moves they make, I don't think this process is going to be long. I mean, they just really getting their feet wet right now. So, it's a situation where, you have to see where you at from certain perspectives, evaluate things, kind of just observe and see what's what, and then make some moves. I think, well, this is, again, just my opinion. I think once this season concludes, obviously it's going to be a personnel turnover. It's going to be some people that's not going to be here, and there's going to be some people that's going to get here. Because look how we position ourselves in terms of the draft and in terms of the dollars. In terms of the dollars. So we position ourselves well to make moves so as to get this house built much faster.
But my question is, we positioned ourselves, but what we do this year determines that position. So it's one thing to have the availability. There's one thing to have the availability and to be in the game, but there's another way to dictate how the game goes. This is what I see for Tibbs, and I'm gonna keep it short. What I see for Tibbs is he has a system, and I said this the other day, and I think I'm gonna keep saying it until something knocks me off the square. He has a system. He knows the players that fits in his system. I shouldn't say the players because I don't think he cares. I think he's like old school Bill Parcells. He does not care about the back of the name on the jersey. He doesn't. You say you're this player. No, you say you're this position. This is what I need you to go out on the floor and do. Facts. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about back of the names of the jersey. So I think we're saying he doesn't like young players. I don't think that at all. I think he needs a certain caliber of player. He doesn't care whose name is on the back. And if you fill that caliber, if you fill that void, I'm going to give you as many minutes as you can physically handle. Because if you do that job to the extent I need you to do that job, we're going to win games. Facts. And so he does not.
Right on point.
He does not buy the groceries that he cooks. So I believe this gives him the leverage to say, okay, you see my style of play. I've showed you it worked. Look at the results from this season alone, with a fast turnover, with no training camp, with a weird COVID season. Look how quick I was able to get the results. Now give me more type of this player. Give me more type of this player. My only concern is I don't want to fall out of missing a generational player in the draft. I guess I just got to leave that alone because you can't really control that anyway. I just know if we focused on I know one thing. If Tom Thibodeau focused on strictly development this year, we'd have nothing less than the top 3, 4, or 5 draft pick. My fear is if we end up with 7, 8, or 9, for both our and Dallas pick, will we find that player? Will we really be forward next year? If no, barring no free agency comes and barring nobody wants to trade with us. That's just a fear I have, and there's no more. It's really no more for me to say on that.
Right, and so I'll give you. Hey, CP, I'm gonna say this real quick. Hey, Delano, still, I'm gonna say this real quick, and then I'm gonna jump out of the way. Right.
Okay.
So what Gi said reminds me of when I was in the military a long time ago. Right. So when I was in the military a long time ago, I used to carry this weapon called the M60. Right. I used to carry the M60. Right. And so the guys in my platoon used to carry the M16s. So I had an M16, but I also had an M60. Right. And what we used to do in practice, we used to go on road marches. Right. And I used to always be like, I don't want to be in the back of the platoon when we road march. I don't want to be in the front because I'm carrying more stuff. You guys are carrying 38 pounds, right, of stuff, but I'm carrying 60 pounds of stuff, right? Y'all carrying 38, I'm carrying 60 pounds of stuff with me. So I don't want to be in the front slowing everybody down. And I don't want to be in the back where y'all might leave me because the pace might be too fast. Put me in the middle, right? I just want to be in the middle where y'all can, if I can be far enough up front where I can cover my guys up front, and I can be in the middle where I can swivel around and cover my guys in the back, right? But at the same time, I want to be in the middle so that y'all can encourage me, maybe carry my loads for a little bit when it gets too heavy. You know what I'm saying? Or just, tell some jokes or something to keep my morale up. Because in the grand scheme of things, if we're going to do 14 miles, y'all 14 miles are going to be with 38 pounds. My 14 miles are going to be with 60 pounds, right? So it's not fair. But I'm willing to take on that load for the platoon, right? So the guy in charge, and I'm gonna say it in a normal person sense, because a lot of people hadn't been in the military, so they wouldn't understand. But the guy in charge of us used to be like, hey, when we go to the chow hall, make sure Uncle Freezy get the first steak, the very best cut of the meat. I want to give it to Uncle Freezy. Well, the dudes in the front are like, yo, why Sarge favor him? You know what I'm saying? Why? Just because he's covering the carrying the M60, that don't mean nothing. You got to be fair to everybody, right? So I was like, no, we're not being fair to everybody, and shut up, right? He like, do your job. You run the point. You run the point, right? Right? You run the point. Do your job. And when it comes to Uncle Freezy, allow Uncle Freezy to do his job, right? So we had beef about that, right? So a guy comes to me, he's like, I'll carry the M60 then, because it should be fit. We should be equitable to everybody. So the dude carries the 60, and I'm up front at the point, right? So I'm out of my element. So I got the pace all fast. I'm wearing people out up front, right? Because I want to hurry up and get this thing over with and get back. But the dude carrying the 60, he's like, y'all going too fast. Y'all going too fast. Slow down. This stuff is heavy. And so I was like, well, put it down, and I'm going to send Uncle Freezy back there. And so he's like, no, I got it. And so the dude complained the whole time. So I leave the point, I go back there and I pick up the stuff. I take the stuff off of him and send him back up to the point. Right. So we get to a place, and this is an exercise. We get to a place where we get attacked. And this is a simulation. Now, this is not anything real. We get attacked, we get ambushed, right? So I'm covering the people that are in the front and that are in the back, right? So when all this stuff is over, we go back and we clean up stuff, and we get to the chow hall. My man Norris, who the dude that said he'll carry the 60, he brings me a plate and it's sizzling, right? And I'm like, what is this? He was like, this is the very best cut they had back there of the steak, man. You know what? We all have a job to do. And I didn't appreciate the job that you do for us. So here it is, right here. And to Norris, I bought him a carton of Newports, right? For those that don't smoke, y'all don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't understand this gesture. For those that don't smoke, you may not understand this gesture, right? But I bought him a carton of Newports from the PX, and it cost me like $25. Back in the day, $25 was something for a carton of Newport. Man, $25 for 12 packs of cigarettes. I'm like, geez, dude. And so I tell them, I'm like, yo, if cigarettes go up to over $3 a box, you're gonna have to stop smoking. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we joking and whatever. And so Sarge comes back to us and says this, and I know y'all gonna try to say, well, Uncle Freezy, what's the relevance? So the relevance to my story to what the Knicks do is everybody is not cut out to do the same thing, and you got to have people dedicated to a certain thing, right? So to tell Kevin, so just because Kevin Knox is on the squad does not mean he needs to do the heavy lifting, right? If Kevin Knox was ready to do the heavy lifting, guess what? He would already be doing the heavy lifting. Bring Kevin Knox along. You know what I'm saying? To just because he's got the uniform doesn't mean that he's the guy, right? And so I said that to also say this: we don't want to disrupt team chemistry and things like that to feature a guy that's not ready. Because those type things, just like in that scenario that I mentioned, our chemistry was thrown off because a guy was like, this dude, Uncle Freezy, is getting the first cut of steak. When we get back to the back, it's not fair, right? Why am I not getting the best cut of the steak, right? And on the Knicks roster, it's probably guys like that. Like Mitchell Robinson sending cryptic tweets like, why am I not featured in the offense? I want to play, right? And Tom Thibodeau is saying what we have to look at is overall team chemistry and roles. Thrive in your role first. Remember that this is a team game, not just the players on the floor, but a team consists of coaches, assistant coaches, ball boys, doctors, all these things. Everybody is involved in this total team concept. And all it takes is for one guy to not want to accept his role, and it'll throw everything off. Why? Let's for instance, Kevin Knox. Why is Julius Randle getting the best cut of the steak? I can do that. What he's doing. All you have to do is give me a chance. No, we don't want to do that, Kevin Knox. Get some time under your belt. Develop on the things that the coach wants you to do first, and then we'll play you. And the same thing for Frank, and the same thing for DSJ. Be a better soldier first, and then your army will be better. The people that you go to battle with will be better.
I got something interesting to say. There's a YouTube channel called Stunted Growth, and I was watching it the other day, and they were talking about our draft pick, Iman Shumpert. Now he was pretty good in Georgia Tech, but when he came to the Knicks, they took him out of being a point guard into a defensive player.
Right.
And this channel is just based on all the things that these NBA players that had high potential or low potential became journeymen in their career based off of what they were doing wrong, but also what the franchise weren't doing for the development of players. I remember listening to a Channing Frye interview, and his problems with one of the greatest coaches of all time, Larry Brown, told him, "Don't shoot. I don't want you to shoot." And Freezy, I love the analogy of your time in Vietnam. I'm just kidding. I know it wasn't Vietnam. But anyway,
That was funny.
When it comes to, we have to also look at the landscape of this team. We have players that are on 1-year contracts. Ashley Nicole Moss said, in terms of Frank, she's not a Frank fan, but it's like the franchise has to do something. Either you're going to develop these guys or you're going to move. You have to move along, because you can't keep them on the bench and rot. And then next year, when they're still on your roster, they have low trade value, and they can't play for you. So the thing is like trade these young players if you're not going to develop them. You can't do two things at the same time. So you're an analogy, Freezy. So the franchise they got to either develop these pieces into something or get rid of them. Get rid of them.
Yeah, I concur with your. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good.
No, I
First off,
concur
let
with
me just
your.
say salute to everybody in the panel. Let me say salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to you, Uncle Freezy. I appreciate your story as far as the army thing. I was in there too, and I was carrying the 249 saw, so I definitely know what you were going through.
Right.
Also, I want to give everybody the virtual Martin hug. And if you watch the show, Martin, you know what I'm talking about, where he gives you the hug and that deep exhale at the end. Because one thing that we're all are, we're long suffering Knicks fans.
Facts.
We have been going through the trenches for over 20 years of ineptitude with little glimmers
Longer,
of optimism.
Longer than that,
man.
actually longer than that.
30.
No, hear me out.
Longer than
Hear me
that.
out.
35.
Hear me out. No. Listen, we were always in the playoffs in the 90s. We never got to the mountaintop, but we were always contenders up until 99, the last time we went to the finals, right? 2000, we were still in the playoffs, but you could see the drop off at that point. 2001 is when we started going all the way downhill. So we have been long suffering with full ineptitude, with slight glimmers of hope for 20 years strong. We are long suffering. We've tried to do these remarkable moves that just in all intents and purposes, just never panned out. The Phil Jackson hiring was supposed to be a great basketball mind, but he's a coach who's never held a front office position, who's trying to turn this front office situation through the lens of a coach. You're hiring guys to play your system, but you're not coaching. So you're hiring guys to do the job that you were doing, and you don't even know what you're doing. So we're here trying to clean up that mess. Then we hire Steve Mills, who's a business guy. He's not a basketball mind. And now we're here trying to clean up that mess. And we hire Leon Rose, who's trying to clean up all of these messes continuously that, we've been, again, just failing on. The draft, it really is important. And for me, I've always said, these aren't so overly critical where you have to overthink these draft picks. They're right in front of you. You've got you basically have the knowledge of what these guys can do, what they can bring to any team. So for me, like I said, when it comes down to these picks, it's like addressed. And I've always said this. I've always said draft for position of need, and you'll never fail. If you're looking for certain things on this team, there are elements that you need that are right in front of you the entire time. Prime example, and I'll always go to this one specific year, the 2018 draft. We had Kristaps Porzingis, who was down with the injury, but we at least at the time thought we had our franchise guy. Then we had Tim Hardaway Jr., who was supposed to be a perimeter scorer, but his weakness was on defense. So I always said, why not draft a guy who can give you the perimeter defense that Tim Hardaway Jr. lacks? And you can bring this guy along slowly. And I always said two guys specifically was Mikal Bridges and Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. is not the strong defender, but what he is is an all around person. He can do everything that Julius Randle doing right now is something Michael Porter Jr. could do at the position of need at small forward that we needed at the time.
Yeah, but
Mikal Bridges,
we thought he had a bad back, scoliosis or something.
well,
That's why we
that
didn't draft
bad
him.
well, that bad back don't look that bad right now.
Well, 17 teams passed on him, so it's not just us.
You're right, but I'm not a fan of 17 teams. I'm a fan of the Knicks, and we
Mm,
passed on them, and it bit us on the butt. And
okay.
then we drafted him for a project because Kevin Knox wasn't a finished product. Mikal Bridges, on the other hand, was Kawhi Leonard light, in my opinion. And I said that, way back before the draft. I said that's the guy that we should get. But I'm saying all that to say that's a position of need that we could have gotten. This year's draft, we're still in need of a starting caliber point guard. That's the one position that we've been kind of, in need of for years. At this point, I would say up to maybe 7 years at least of needing a starting caliber point guard. We can't draft one. We can't get one in free agency because despite what Alfred Payton is capable of doing, he's just not that guy. And Freezer, you pointed this out before too. Alfred Payton is the point guard that could lead you right into the lottery.
The lottery.
So again, he's got the skill set, but he's not the guy that could lead you. So I've always said, two things I would love in the draft is starting caliber players, a starting caliber point guard, starting caliber small forward. So again, I'm just saying all that to say, at the end of the day, we have to adjust this. And there are things that I'm looking at too, little cleanup things that we can do along the way until we get to the draft, to bring this along. And it doesn't have to be those superstar players.
Right.
For me, I think Dan Wilhouse Jr. out of Houston is a better small forward than Reggie Bullock. The numbers don't lie, since a lot of people like to go to the stats. And the eye test tells you that. He's more athletic. He's more efficient from the three. He's more of a clamp down defender than Reggie is.
Right.
So
Well, we all
for
know
me,
Reggie. We all know Reggie's not the long term.
right, right, and see,
We already know that.
right,
Right.
here's
And
my
then
thing, though.
but plus Daniel House comes with baggage, like personal baggage.
Yeah,
Oh, that
yeah,
Daniel House, the one that
Yeah.
was sneaking in
Yeah.
young
And
ladies
at the
into
bubble. Yeah, at the
bubble.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's one
Mhm.
incident, and I mean, I'm sure that guys have done all kinds of crazy stuff too at their
But why do
young
we hate
age.
on him
So
for that? Because that was pretty stealth.
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like
That
that's
was
not
pretty
a
stealth. I mean, if you could sneak in, I gotta give him props for that.
Yeah, it was the girl doing the testing. Remember, you know how they have the people that come in doing the testing
Yeah,
Oh
in
wow,
the bubble.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
must.
so
yeah.
That's like messing around
Yeah, he
with
was
the
trying to get another test.
yeah,
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 but it wasn't James Harden going maskless in a full capacity club
right.
dancing with little babies. So I can excuse that little thing because at the end of the day, it's small, minute compared to the other things that other players have been doing. So, for me, like I said, it's more about the things that he can do. But I also said that I would like to address these things in the draft. I know that Daniel House is not the long term answer either, but he's an upgrade from what we have at the moment. But you also see that he's not the big name like the Bradley Beal or the Zach Levines of the world. So it's not like we're going to have to give up the farm for these guys because their names aren't up like that. You know what I mean? So again, just me playing my GM, shout out to 2K. But
I got a
look
question.
for,
I
yeah,
got
go
a
ahead.
question real quick, not
Yeah.
to cut you off, but everybody, right? When we look at Emmanuel quickly, are we looking at a true point guard or are we really looking at a Lou Williams? Because I don't see point guard as a distributor, getting people high assist guy in quickly yet. I think like what he's done in Kentucky and what he's doing now, I see more of a Lou Williams guy, 6 man, come off the bench, light it up, and I feel like that is his natural role. Am I wrong for thinking that?
For me, it's going to be based upon how strong he becomes and what his body does. The body fills out like a CP3, like a Westbrook. Because the problem is he's so light in the tail when he has to. He's constantly trying to move, keep the ball moving, using his scoring. If he can get in the paint and hold his dribble and hold bodies off him without feeling like he needs to rush the ball out of his hands, I think you'll see more development because he does have the IQ and he does have the vision. The problem is right now he's so light. He just has to make his move and go with it. He don't have
No,
multiple moves.
no,
And if he
Ghetto. I'm asking, what is his natural, like in his heart, who is he? From
well
his
you
like, if you were in his brain, is he the Lou Williams or is he a point guard?
yeah, but what I'm saying to you is you see today he's Lou Williams. I'm
Mhm.
talking about what he's going to project to be because he's only played 25 games and he's going to be with us a long time. If you ask me what he's going to project to be, that's what I'm saying. If not, he's going to be what he is today. You see what he is today. If you don't know what Emmanuel quickly is today, you don't know basketball. He's a scorer. Period.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't.
yeah, yeah.
So you know the answer to that. I'm saying he can be more if he fills his frame out. If he stays this size player,
Mhm.
then he's going to be forced to get the ball, get rid of the ball as quick as possible. He's not strong enough to keep his dribble in the paint. And great point. I'll be honest. Look at L. Payton. L. Payton gets in that lane, and when he's finishing the way L. Payton, that he is who he was last night. He's a walking layup if he can finish.
Mhm.
He can do that on many
Yeah.
teams, not just that team, especially put a little point guard in front of him like Kobe. He doesn't have the Elf Payton body to keep his dribble going. If he was to keep his dribble going, he can then dish from different positions. Right now, he has to start at the top of the key, and whatever they give him is what he has to take. If he doesn't get stronger, he'll be Lou Williams his entire career, and he won't be a starting point guard. He'll be somebody who gets score off the bench.
I would say that quickly
He's a
is
combo
a
guard.
point guard. Yeah, I would say he could be a point guard because first of all, you kind of have to define what is a point guard. Now, if he enhances his skill in terms of facilitating, he will be a true point guard because he has all the other pieces. If he doesn't develop that, then yeah, he may be more of a Lou Williams or what as you brothers has expressed. But really, he's a guard. He's someone that we could say we got one. We could say that we have one in Emmanuel quickly.
I never want to get
So
rid of him. I just want to make sure I'm
No,
never.
no,
I
no,
don't.
no.
no,
Oh yeah,
no,
I never said
no,
that.
we
I never
never.
said that.
No, I agree to
Yeah.
that. I agree to that. But yeah, we definitely have one as far as a guard is concerned. I think he needs to enhance his facilitating skills, and of course, continue to work on his defense and so forth. You may
But
mention it as
my
regards to
question,
his frame.
my question
But
is,
go ahead.
is that would that hurt him? Would we rather put a point guard in a draft or free agency next to him to just make him be who he is? Because I think the conversation what I'm having is like Lou Williams. Lou Williams has bounced around the league on several teams because he's not a true point guard.
Right.
He's a point guard body that scores.
He's a hired
Uh,
gun. Lou Williams is a hired gun.
Exactly,
That's what he is.
exactly. And that's no knock on IQ. I'm just saying like how
Mhm.
we want Knox to be this, all around defender and so forth and so on. Maybe that will never be a strength. I'm hoping that it will. Some of us believe that Frank is a point guard. A lot of people think he's just a basketball player. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And so my thing is like I never want a player, especially a young player, to when he could swim, they're trying to make him fly. You know what I'm saying? I think
Right.
the best of his abilities
Yeah,
is who he
that's a good point.
is. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. That players, well, to kind of go back a little bit, to a point that Freezy made reference to in terms of Thibodeau. Thibodeau needs a player to be this. We need your skill set to fit here for now, for the sake of the team. Now, who those players, are, we're learning. We're learning how quickly fits into that, and we see that he fits into it well. Like Mitchell Robinson, he's good at what he does. We're not worrying about him trying to do the sham god or whatever. We don't need that from him. Just be a rim runner. Just play defense. We will take care of these other positions.
Right.
So again, going back to your point there, CP the artist, with Quickly, he's a guard. He's just a guard. Let's just label him a guard. Let's not put him in a box. Let's let him be able to be whatever it is he's going to become, however he's going to manifest himself, because we don't know that yet. I mean, the future, still holds. That facility skill I was making reference to, that's what I was hoping.
Yeah. If Quickly becomes a distributing point guard where he got five, if he's averaging 6 assists per game with the 20 points that he's putting up, I mean, we got a point guard for
the future.
The future. You know what I'm saying?
And yes. Yeah. And look at other players. Look, when you go back, okay, let me give you an example. Dame Lillard. We all know Dame. But when he first came into the league, would you say that he was a true point guard?
I can't even remember when he played as a
I remember, no. He
rookie.
could just
I can't remember.
No, he could score.
We know who he is now.
But my point is,
was he a point guard?
But DJ Cash, my point is, he got stronger, and that allowed him to work on different. If Quickly gets stronger, he'll be able to get to more places.
Exactly.
Right now,
he'll develop.
He's too light. Now, he's too light in the tail. He can't get to those places.
And you know what? Ghetto. On your point. On your point. And that's why I think Knicks fans and all fans have to be patient with these younger players. Look, we all men in here. Remember when we developed our man body?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had our man, when we got our man body, nobody could push us around and so forth and so on. And then on our man body comes like maybe 22, 23-ish, whatever, after we stop growing. And then, our testosterone is a little bit higher. Are we able to develop muscles like crazy? That's what I was waiting for with Frank. With Frank, he never had a man body. Remember, when Frank came into the league, he was the youngest player in the league. He basically was a high school player when he got drafted. So he didn't have his man body. That's why that's why he was always injured. He's playing against grown men. This summer when I seen him, I was like, oh, he's got his man body. But obviously he got hurt again. Kevin Knox, you're seeing him develop, more of his man body. Porzingis, he's in his man body versus when we drafted him a couple of years ago. But obviously he he's always hurt. So to Ghetto's point, that man body, once that develops, it's like, yo, you can't tell the dude nothing.
Right.
Well, let me answer this,
DJ
Cash. Dame is always a point guard for the modern NBA. From his rookie season, if you look at it, his numbers as far as being able to go from being a scoring point guard to a floor general, you've seen the immediate impact from year one to even year three, where you can start seeing the numbers differentiate. With Emmanuel Quickly, very short and direct, he's a combo guard. which is what I think we need in today's NBA. You know, he's a guy that can control the pace of the game. He's a guy that at times when we need the scoring, he's a scorer. When we need the distribution, he can distribute. You're seeing glimpses of it. So all it takes right now is just more reps at that position. Because at the end of the day, you know, he'll never be just one of those positions. He'll never just be the one or the two. He's always going to be one of those guys that kind of fluctuate in between that, and that's fine. You know what I
So
mean?
Delano, you don't think
Yeah,
he needs to
yeah.
get stronger?
Well, yeah. I mean, stronger. Whether he gets stronger or not, I'm just saying as far as what he does, I think he'll always be that, which is a combo guard. And
Let me be honest.
personally, because
Let me be honest. I want somebody 6'7", bringing the ball up the floor. That anytime the defense doesn't pay attention, he's gonna go all the way to the rim and flush it down your throat.
Yes.
And then you got to stop the point of attack. And if you can't stop the point of attack, he's going to kick it out to 37 to 40% three-point shooters who's going to destroy you. And then we're going to turn around and kick your tail on defense. That's what I want. Sorry for getting
well,
so.
don't we kind of have that in RJ if we actually give him the time? I mean, he kind of fits that criteria so far.
No. Gi just said tank for Cade Cunningham. He said Gi just said fade for Cade.
No.
Gi, you just said fade for Cade.
Yeah.
You said, hey,
there's a
so
difference.
who's a projected number one pick in the draft in this coming summer? Cade Cunningham, a 6'7" point guard that can throw that thing down your throat like Barkley. To quote the great Chuck D. Yes, sir.
I've never seen Cade Cunningham. I don't know what he looks like. I've never seen him basketball, so I can't say tank for him.
Well. Let's say this.
He's just what you described.
Right. And I'm gonna just say this: Cade Cunningham is not Richie Cunningham. Let's establish that right now. Let's establish. And for those that don't know who Richie Cunningham is, he's a character from this show called Happy Days from back in the day with Ralph Malph and Potsy and Joni and Chachi and the
Fonzie fan. Hey, I was a Fonzie fan.
Yeah, man. So let me say this too, because I want to chime in on the Emmanuel Quickly thing too, right? So I differ from y'all. I think Emmanuel Quickly is a pure point guard in today's sense of what a point guard is, right? And the reason why I say that is because when you look at the top point guards in today's game, Trae Young, Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, they don't look like Maurice Cheeks from back in the day. They don't look like John Stockton from back in the day. They look like shoot first or very aggressive offensive weapons, right? And teams weaponize them by surrounding them with shooters and bigs that can set solid screens, roll to the basket, and finish, right? And but just like stretch fours in today's game, they have flaws, right? The most stretch fours in today's game, their flaw is physicality and defense. And the modern NBA point guards flaw in today's game is physicality and defense, right? Because Dame Lillard is not locking up anybody. He's one of the worst defenders in the league. No. Steph Curry is not locking up anybody. He's one of the worst defenders in the league. Trae Young is not locking up anybody. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the worst defenders in the league.
A buck and a quarter.
Right. And so when you look at Emmanuel Quickly at 6'3", 181, you know what I'm saying? You can't think that he's gonna be an old school point guard, knowing that he has the new school point guard mindset. So Emmanuel Quickly is going to be an offensive weapon, weaponized by our coaching staff to get his own shot and to create for others. While back in the day, the point guard's job was create for others, and if all else fails, get your own shot, right? Today's NBA point guards are 6'2", 6'3", about 180, somewhere in there. Extended range from three, can shoot somewhere anywhere up to like 26, 27 feet. And I'm talking about feeling comfortable. Anything outside 27 feet, of course, it's a chuck at the rim. But modern point guards are built like this.
But it's changing though. But Freezy, hate to cut you off, but it's changing though. Like with LaMelo Ball and this Cade guy that we're talking about, they're going 6'7", 6'6". When we drafted Frank, hot topic. Okay, we thought that with his we could develop into something of the future, and having a tall point guard against a shooter like Steph Curry and shooting point guards, you put a hand in the face, make the shot difficult. You know what I mean? Continue your point.
The problem, Freezy, is you just compared quickly to a bunch of people that he can't dribble like. That he can't quick. You've never seen quickly get to any spot on the floor he wants to. Trae Young, at his size, who's probably smaller than Quickly, can get wherever he wants to. You show me a game, and I'll wait. And I'll even wait the rest of the season, where Quickly can bring the ball up and go wherever he wants to on the floor. Then, and only then, will I say he could play the point guard position.
I understand where you're coming from. But our guy is not a finished product yet. He's got flaws. He's got flaws.
So now you're coming back. So now you're agreeing with me. I said if he gets stronger and can get to wherever he wants to get to on the floor and can create from the left, the right, the corner, the middle, then he could be a point guard. I said that, Freezy.
Right. Okay. All right. Duly noted. We want that to be established on the record.
One more thing. We need him to be a point guard or yet another point guard if we're going to unlock Obi Toppin, because Obi is my biggest concern right now amongst the young people, is that who is setting Obi up to be successful on the Knicks, and it's like this narrative that I'm like, he had a decent game last night, but this is not what we drafted for. We drafted him to be that centerpiece, but he's not looking at that. And I think that's 70% blame on the coaching and the system and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? And how do we unlock Obi? Because he's not even a blip on the radar right now.
Right. But CP, I would tell you this. I would say Obi's not a blip on the radar, and that's good. And the reason why I would say that's good is because you've seen what has happened to our other first round picks that were drafted in that same range. And so we rush them out and have high expectations, and then it backfires, and then we sit them on the bench and saying they're no good.
I would agree with you, but he's 22 years old.
Right.
Knox and Frank, who are drafted at the same position, were 18
are younger.
Years old.
Yeah,
18 years old. He was supposed. Obi is supposed to be ready now.
Right.
And I'm seeing a 22-year-old man in and I'm not knocking him because I'm going to be patient on Obi, so nobody in the chat thinks I'm trying to get rid of. No. I'm saying that I want the Knicks to stop failing our youth, and this youth movement that we have is very young, and I'm just afraid that we are arresting the development of these youth. We always talk about we want to be like the Spurs and so forth and so on. We are far from the Spurs.
Very far.
If we're not either putting these kids in the G League, if we're not doing off-season programs, if we're not putting them in positions to succeed, you know what I'm saying, we are actually failing them. If we're Tom Thibodeau and we're up 20 points with 3 minutes left, and the game is locked, but we're still playing our starters 4,500 minutes, we're not developing our youth by not putting them, out there. If we're getting blown out by 30 and we're still playing our starters 45 minutes and we're not throwing the youth out there just to get them, whatever, we're defeating their confidence, number one, and we're not giving them enough life experiences to battle through these things. And it's like I said before, if you're not going to develop these kids, then get rid of them. Let them go somewhere. Like, I'm a Frank stan, you know what I mean? But you know what? As a Frank fan, a realistic Frank fan, his time with the Knicks is over. I want to see him succeed somewhere in the world. If it's not in the NBA, it's somewhere in the world. But I know it's not going to be with the Knicks.
Right.
So let him go. So
Right.
DSJ too.
Right. So first of all, it's the first time that I ever heard you admit that you're a Franker. The Frankers are everywhere.
You want to go at it? You want to go at it? My light-skinned brother?
No, I don't want Frank beef because what happens is you fight one Franker and the next thing you know you're being jumped by 600 Frankers. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm a objective Frank fan. You know what I'm saying? So like I'll listen to
CP, let me cut you off right here, right? So you asked me if I wanted to go, right? Because you're a Franker. Now watch this. I told you. They multiply. That's why I don't want to fight Frankers right there. Because you start off fighting one, and then they start showing up out of the You know what I mean?
Hey! In all honesty, what happened was, Freeze. I was looking at your podcast from the last night, not last night, but the last night, where you had to end it and everything. So once I finished with that, and then came to this right here, I saw CP was talking about Frank. I said, "Oh, let me get on it."
Hey, CP. Now you see what I'm talking about. You can't pick a fight with a Franker because they're too deep. So you fight with one, and all of a sudden you're fighting with
but CP. But here's the thing: with CP, I'm agreeing with him. I'm agreeing with him totally. I want him off the team as well to get a fresh start, because it's obvious he's not going to get any run here. And if he does get run here, he's going to get ridiculed by our own fans.
Right. So let me do this, because we have a few topics open, and what I want to do is just address the topics that are open so that we can get closure with those. So in fairness to the listeners and the viewers, that they'll understand that we at least addressed all the open topics. Yep. So a few moments ago, I guess about 30 minutes ago, CP said that he alluded to if the guys are not gonna play, let's at least get something for them.
Absolutely.
Right. So here has been my take for the past 24 hours, or my thought. I think the word take and hot take is clickbait, and I don't want to do that. These are my thoughts, and I developed these on my own. And I don't think this way to troll people. And I think that's what some people view takes are, is like takes are what get people riled up to bring more attention to yourself. I don't want to do that. This is my thought. Right. The Knicks have $17 million in free cap space.
That's that thing you went over yesterday, right?
Right.
You and Gio. Okay. All right. Right.
Yep.
Which I still have written down.
Right. Yeah. And now you have dead money and DSJ, Frank Ntilikina, and Kevin Knox. Mm-hmm. They all make about $6 million a piece, approximately. So that's approximately $18 million. So now you have $18 million plus $17 million, right? So you have 35. Yep. Yeah. So now you have about $35 million in dead money, right? And then when you count the money that we paid Joakim Noah, that's about $42 million. Yeah. So now
change for Noah.
Right. So now you have about $41 million of salary that you're not using against a cap that's $115 million.
Right.
Right. So we look at the roster and say we are deficient in talent, right? Like we have a talent void. Wow, look at that bow tie G I got on.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm feeling that.
Bow tie is nice.
I'm feeling that. Yes,
Wow,
sir.
that's nice.
Yes, sir. I'm feeling that.
Hand tied.
I might have to steal that for a wedding I'm going to, man.
All right. Okay, listen. I don't know anything about ghetto intellect. Are you selling bean pies today, or is this?
No, he didn't. Hey, T.I. had nothing to do with it. T.I. had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with that. Man.
Hey, who is this guy, CP? Is that Chuck's little brother or something?
Wow. And for those of y'all watching, we joke like that a lot down here. And sometimes having a good time is more important than the conversation.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So we like to call some of that country grammar. You know what I'm saying? So but to that point that I was making, I want people to realize that the Knicks have assets, and as soon as we say assets, the first thing the Knicks fans think about is draft picks and young players, right? So I want to kind of get away from that a little teeny bit. I want you to look at like when you look at your portfolio, like you own a house, like you actually, you paid off your mortgage on a house, you paid it off to the bank, the house is yours and the land that it's on, right? You have some cars that you paid for or whatever, and they're yours, they belong to you, you got a title for them, right? But even though those things are in your portfolio, you have other things that you own, like the television that you paid for cash, the furniture in your house that you paid for cash. Those are assets also. So what I want people to do is move away from looking at the big ticket items in your portfolio and look at the other items in your portfolio because they have worth as well. Like for instance, if you have art in your house, that also is worth something.
Yes, sir.
Right? And we may disagree to what the price is for it, you know what I'm saying? But it does have value.
Yep.
Right? And so there are other things, your jewelry, the jewelry that you have, you know what I'm saying? That also has value. So get away from the big ticket items like the house you paid for and the car you paid for, and look at the rest of your portfolio. The artwork, the jewelry, the furniture, the appliances, those also have value, right? So I'm telling the Knicks fans, don't look at the 2021 draft picks as the only assets that you have, right? You also have this cap space, right? You have these expiring contracts of Frank Ntilikina, of DSJ, of others, right? You can use everything within this portfolio to accumulate more talent, right? Especially if you're not using it. If you're not going to use Knox, DSJ, Ntilikina, Taj Gibson, whoever, you could package those things to acquire, to what Delano Steele said, Man of Steel said, you can package those things to acquire a Robert Covington or a Daniel House or a Kelly Oubre, right? Who could help your team right away.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to trade away your draft picks. You can trade away these other things too. You can barter with whatever is in your portfolio. You don't have to barter what is the most the thing with of the
most
highest value.
Yeah.
So
because here's the thing, Freeze. Here's the thing. You can make a trade with San Antonio because I know they'll be interested in Frank.
Right.
I know they'd be interested in Frank. So you could,
but what do you get from San Antonio?
Yeah,
well,
we don't just want to offer Frank.
And be careful, Freezy. He's trying to get Frank on another team so he could say, "I told you Frank could play." I'm telling you.
That's the plan. I ain't gonna lie, that's the plan.
I'll tell you what. You want to see the value of Frank Ntilikina? Ask him for DeJounte Murray.
Right.
Let's see if they bite on that.
Wrong.
I got another name. I got another name in regards to that. Is Trey Lyles still with them?
I think
Trey Lyles?
so.
I think so.
I think
If
so.
he is, because I know
Denver.
he's with Denver. Okay, I thought
He's
he
with
was still
Denver.
with them. Okay.
No, he was with Denver.
All
Is
right.
he still with Denver now?
I don't know.
All right, I thought Trey Lyles was still with him. I know he's a Kentucky product. So
Yeah.
that's why I mentioned that.
No, he's with the Spurs. He's with the Spurs.
But
he's been with the Spurs the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, but like you said, you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 players that you are not actually 4, because when it's Taj Gibson, he only got run once. With once Noel was out for that one game, so you actually have 4 players right there, dead money that that you're not using. You're not even using these players. So why are they still
$1 million? He's $1 million. Probably has a no trade clause, so you should take him off.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's still 3 then. Okay. So yeah, why do something with these with these guys? Because it's obvious that you're not going to use them. These are not like the 3 players we have right now are not like, let's say, the Bulls, the players that they have on their on their bench at the end of the bench. These are 3 quality guys that can help another team out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I looked at the when I was looking at the bench for the Bulls, I totally forgot that what's name was still on there that used to play for us. Who was the tall center that?
Hey, Luke Cornett.
Luke Cornett is still on there. And I know Kevin Knox is way better than a Luke Cornett.
Interesting.
That's
interesting.
Yeah. So again, you have these 3 players. Send them on their way.
Yeah, or put them in the G League.
Or put them
Do
in
something, man.
One went on his own. He said, I want to keep my game going. So DSJ went on his own.
He wants to advertise for the writings on the wall for him. He wants to advertise for next year's contract.
Exactly.
That was smart.
He can't get on the team.
He's marketing himself
from the bench.
Right, and you can't blame him. You can't blame him.
He's marketing himself. That's a marketing move.
Right.
Exactly.
He wants to market himself, just like you said, for next year, because he knows his time in New York is done.
But here's the thing,
His
DJ.
time in New York is done.
But here's the thing, DJ. If he's doing that right now, I'm sure there's a team that's saying, you know what, we might could use this guy. Let's see what the Knicks will trade for him to, because he's still under contract with us. Because DSJ, right? Yeah.
For the rest of this year.
Right. Exactly.
And remember, there's always value in an expiring contract.
Correct.
Right.
If I'm trying to clear some salary off because I think I could sign somebody in the off season, then let me trade some guys under contract for the next year or 2 and take back some expiring contracts. So this summer, I done freed up all my dollars. So that's why I didn't really understand with Knox. I think Knox, there's a big disconnect between what the front office wants him to be and what Tibbs see him at.
Yes.
Because so GI, this is what I've been wanting to ask you for a few minutes. But I won't lie. When you showed me the bow tie, it kind of set me back a little bit because the bow tie is fire, right? So you kind of caught me off guard.
And I'm not gonna let you off the hook, man. Where are your spectacles at, man?
Right. Hey, I I have like 42 pair. Like I have 42 pair of reading glasses. They everywhere.
Well, right? I still need to see that, man. I still need to see that.
I tell you what.
Next show, I want to see that. Next show, I want to see that.
So
he didn't like the heavy D jokes.
Oh, the heavy D. No. He read Fox. He read Fox from Harlem Night.
The Snake Eyes Benny from Harlem Night.
right
before our very eyes.
Kev. So I'm gonna tell you why they're in the car, right? So I had him on the driver's seat. I put him on the driver's seat, man.
Yeah.
I was looking for some glasses.
Right.
So I put him on the driver's seat, and then I got in the car and went to the store. I was like, dang, what in the world's going on? So I sat on the glasses because I didn't see him. You know why I didn't see him?
Why didn't you see him?
Because I didn't have them on.
Hey, hold up. I gotta get to my boy Jay Boogie. Hey, Jay Boogie says, Cornerstone, you sound like you would have taken Frank over Donovan Mitchell. Heck to the no. I would not have taken Donovan Mitchell over Frank.
Time out.
Never, never, never. I may support a person, but I ain't stupid. I would never do that.
So this is what I've been trying to get to with the ghetto intellect, right? So I've been trying to get to a thing with the ghetto intellect. So
I'm in trouble.
So Gian, I want to pose this to you because you said something earlier that made sense. Like basically pick a direction and go, right? Remember, so we said a couple things, and I want to button up everything that we talked about. So we won't leave any statements, any rhetorical questions, anything like that unturned, or uncovered, right? So you said that we need to pick a direction and go, basically, like either you want to win the chip or you want to rebuild. Would you do this? Would you trade DSJ, Frank Ntilikina, and Kevin Knox to the New Orleans Pelicans for Lonzo Ball and JJ Redick's expiring contract?
Yes, in the heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Will New Orleans take it? So I'm always shaded to think that teams undervalue my players more than I do. But in a heartbeat, I would take it. Because Lonzo Ball's expiring. They're both expiring, I believe, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So New Orleans is in a situation where we can give them young talent for them to look at, to peek at. It's the same thing we did with the Clippers last year. We gave them an expiring contract to look at Marcus Morris. They like Marcus Morris so much that during the summertime they signed him back to a 4-year, $64 million deal.
I might throw in two second-round drafts.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Right. And so what that does is it gives you a peek at that 6'7" point guard that you were talking about. It gives you a peek at him before he hits free agency. So if you get him and he plays, say, 40 games, you at least get to window shop for a little while before you make your major purchase.
Now, let me ask you a question. If we did do that and New Orleans would agree to it, would Lonzo be in the start? Would he start?
Oh yeah.
I would say not off the rip. Let him get accustomed to Tom Thibodeau's offense first.
Okay. He might not know the offense. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let him transition in first. Meanwhile, and this is where things starts to clear themselves out. Meanwhile, you let Emmanuel quickly start, right? You let quickly start to see if he's a starting point guard in the NBA. Meanwhile, you get the same thing from the things you get from Alfred Payton, you get from Lonzo Ball. You get a big guard who can defend, you know what I'm saying, who's pass first, who can rebound. The only difference is Lonzo Ball will push the pace, right? That's the only difference.
And I believe it'll be, and we need to push the pace, and that's part of the reason we don't push the pace, because Tibbs don't trust us to turn the ball over and get back on D. And Ball is if one thing he's not credited for, he's definitely credited for his defense. And also quickly, this will help quickly in his process of becoming a more. We don't want to put him in. I agree with everybody. I don't need to put him in this pure point guard label, but he does need to be on the floor where it's not all about his offense. It's about getting other guys in the flow, and then he can play off of guys. And let me tell you something. Give quickly the shots that Peyton has received, all season. Peyton has probably got some of the top wide open 3-point attempts. Now, he don't make 10% of them, but boy, he takes everyone, and he has to, because Ron said it. Man, you got to keep him honest. So you got to take the shots. Give quickly those opportunities. Guess who's going to get more room to operate? I believe Randall, RJ Barrett, and Randall will their skill sets and their efficiency will increase with quickly on the floor by them. Then you give, and Freeze, I stole this from you, so I don't want to. You got me on the big screen, but it's really yours. You should take credit for this. Then you give Obi a chance to play with a more pure, because Lonzo Ball, while he can't shoot like we would want him to, he could pass. He can pick up the tempo. You might even be able to throw Knox in for some minutes. Who knows? But we need another point guard. I'm not knocking quickly, but just he would not make us a better team tomorrow.
Jason.
Someone other than Alf Payton and Quickly together will make us better tomorrow.
Right.
Jason said that Alfred was better than Lonzo.
I think
In
it
the
depends
chat.
on. I think it depends on your point of view.
Mhm.
Right. Like if you take your four fingers and put them together like this,
Yeah.
and take the other four fingers and put them together like this, and then do this right here. Alfred Payton is better.
Freeze, man.
I'm just saying, because it's not hard. If you take these four fingers and move them like this, then Alfred Payton is better.
Jason, I'm gonna Jason, let me argue with you why I believe. Let's say their statistics on paper they look the same. The eye test will be different when Lonzo Ball goes down and rebounds, because he rebounds and can press the pace without worrying about turning the ball over. I agree with you. If we sat Peyton and Lonzo Ball in the corner and said, go ahead and make threes, we wouldn't be very satisfied with either one of them. Right. But what Lonzo Ball can do, pushing the pace, which would increase guys like Knox and Obi. So I think you're missing that. Remember, Quickly can't push the pace and get everybody involved. If Quickly push the pace, he'll have 30 points. And other guys, their plus minus would be good because Quickly would be a scoring guru, but you wouldn't unlock these other guys. One thing Chicago should have told us as a bad team, and Chicago's a bad team. We're better than them. We don't think we're great, so they were a bad team, right?
Yeah.
2 games in a row, they put 5 and 6 guys in double figures. Let me say it again. 2 games in a row against us, they put 5 or 6 guys in double figures. We have got to unlock other players. If we unlock other players, we could be. We're getting 3 on average. Only 3 guys scoring double figures on average.
Right.
3 guys.
Hey, so 23 Blade. Thank you for the super chat. He says that was a good one. Okay. I got you.
But that was great. So what Jay Boogie just put up. What you did for Jay Boogie.
Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie. Listen, man. I want to answer your question, but I would prefer that you come on the joint with us.
Please,
right?
please.
Look, Jay Boogie, watch this. Watch this screen. Watch this. Look.
Oh,
there's plenty of room for you up there.
Yeah, man. Come on.
We'll slide over on the couch.
And we got Spike Lee seats for him up here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. You know, if you want me to answer that, man, I promise you, I'll answer it if you come on.
Jay,
on the thing.
Jay,
put the link in.
Jay, I'll paint you a picture if you come on, man.
Bam.
I'll paint him a picture, man.
Hey, you can't beat that proposition right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
hey, did anybody catch last night when after the game when Peyton was being interviewed by Clyde and what's his name? He did not Peyton did not look happy at all. Because I think he hears the chatter about him being replaced.
Well, he was wondering if they were going to ask him about that burner account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked at like, man, I'm thinking about my burner account, man, right now. Don't ask me about that, please.
Right. Hey, no doubt. And the thing is, man, New York City can be a grinder, bro. New York City can be a grinder for athletes that come here. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like they don't have an excuse because there's no fans in the stands. All you gotta do is just turn off your damn cell phone and not hear it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like go 0 dark 30 because obviously the only chatter that you're hearing is if you're going on your Instagram, if you're going on whatever, and you are purposely putting yourself in that position to see it. There's no fans.
Right.
There's no fans.
Yep. And the other thing, players are afraid to play for us. They can go and play for Brooklyn, but they're afraid to play for us.
Man, I don't care nothing about Brooklyn. You know how I feel about Brooklyn, right?
I totally get it. But you think about it. Why was it that Durant and Irving went there instead of coming to us?
No, it's more to it, Kevin. We're not doing that. First of all, Durant blew his Achilles. If Durant doesn't blow his Achilles, Kev, you have to have that without Durant blowing his Achilles.
Yeah, context.
Then we can have a legit conversation. And we didn't want Kyrie Irving in the season by himself. Look what happened to Brooklyn and Kyrie Irving with a season by himself.
Yeah.
So we can't do that, Kev. That's not a hypothetical we can do.
Right, and then plus Brooklyn can have they $11 coffees and they purebred dogs, and everybody is a novelist or an actor and all that stuff. They can have they electric cars and all that bougie stuff. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks are beer and hot dogs. You know what I'm saying? We barbershop. You know what I'm saying? We everyday people. And for those that ever heard that song by Sly and the Family Stone, we are people every day. Everyday people.
About Arrested Development.
Every day.
Them too.
Everyday people.
Yeah, we everyday people. We not walking around with purebred dogs on a leash. I don't know what a poodle is. I ain't never seen a poodle in real life.
Okay, we have
you know what I'm saying?
We have a troll in the chat. Real King, he says Knicks are garbage.
Nah, Real
King's not a troll. He's always around, bro. He's just always his position.
Oh, well, why do you put Knicks are garbage, man? I mean,
because he's trying to offer some perspective. Like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna upgrade?
This is what I'm talking about with the support. Where is the support for our team? You know what I'm saying? If we Knicks fans, why are we calling them garbage?
Well, we're not far from
it.
Well, I mean, we don't have a point guard and small forward, and our bench is not the best in the league. So,
right. Hey, and Sincere said Manhattan and Brooklyn are getting gentrified. I mean, hey, Manhattan is what it is. I'm talking about for the fans, though.
Yeah, when he said Manhattan, he talked about Harlem.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. Remember, Harlem is Manhattan.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the fan type, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the type of fan.
No, I know what you mean.
To the point that I was making about getting a Lonzo Ball and a JJ Redick, I think it serves short term. It offers up short term solutions for the dead money that we have on our roster is what I'm getting at. Because we can absorb JJ Redick and then basically it'll be a 3-for-1 for Lonzo Ball. I don't want to throw picks in there. I think Kevin Knox and Frank is enough.
Amen.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong for rooting for Alfred Payton to get hurt?
Yes.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
We don't want him to get hurt, man.
He's a Franker that bad. He's a Franker that bad.
Time out, Richie Rich. Richard Bowtie. Shut up, Kev. Richie Rich. We talking Richie Rich with that big old bow tie. You should have got a size small, not a size extra large. Shut up. Somebody shut up, Steve. Shut up. I mean, Kev, shut up. That's not my point. Look, it's just, I don't know. It's like, it's the only way Tibbs could ever take him out the lineup. So every time we're talking about Lonzo, I'm thinking the dude would still start Alfred Payton.
So
I just believe that.
So you said I'm a fade for Cade.
I didn't say that.
He has to be because the man you want to take out the lineup just won you a game last night.
One out of what?
No, he won about 2 or 3. But
Brooklyn Classic right 2 times out of a 24-hour period.
Jay-Z.
That ain't really saying too much.
Let me use Jay-Z's lyric. 2 out of 25, I could divide. That's 1 out of what? 15?
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Alfred plays with my emotions. I
Listen,
can't handle that. He plays with my emotions too much.
He don't play with my emotions. He's complete garbage. But on the morning after he won us a game, it's hard for me to say that the glaring issue today, just today, is Alfred Payton. I definitely want to move him for something better. But today, I mean, if I have 1 day a week, this is that 1 day a week. It's hard for me to beat up on Alfred Payton the day after he won the game, especially for him to get hurt. And I am one who said at some point I want to pivot and sit all these vets down and develop the young guys, which I promise you, I'm not trying to tank, but you run out young guys out there for 30 minutes a game, we will lose.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, what will it take for Tibbs to just what's it gonna take? Like, I don't
He's
think
too stubborn. He's too stubborn.
Yeah, he's just too like yeah. It's like what I said earlier. He's an old fart. He's just set in our ways. You know what I'm saying? When you're over 40, it's hard to change. You know, same routine.
I do have to defend that. Did you drop the link for Jay Boogie?
Yes.
I do have to defend Tibbs though. He has a system that he's trying to implement. He doesn't care about the numbers or the names of the jerseys, and he's pressing his will to have some. Because Freezy also taught me that this thing could go south. Excuse me, with Tibbs in management, and Tibbs can at least have leverage to say, "Look what I did with that roster you gave." Which is why, Kev, I say it's not that we're trash. Maybe we're just trash, but we still have a roster that no other team, even the young Chicago Bulls, have a better roster than us. And Tibbs' system won that game last night. And if that game would have won another 4 minutes, Tibbs would have completely run out of bullets. He did what he needed to do. He got those guys to play what he could get them to play for as long as he could get them to play. And by the time Chicago figured out, oh my goodness, we're down 20, we really got to play, Tibbs got them out that game. RJ, I still need RJ to finish a couple more Freezy. I still want to see him make a couple more shots down the stretch. It would have made the game easier, but Tibbs is getting the most out of these guys. And for that, he has to be given some credit. He's stubborn as heck.
I can't crucify him too much. It's just I just have this love-hate like thing for him. Like I'm right there on the middle with how people feel about Tibbs. If you praise him, I'll agree with you. If you disagree with him, I agree with that too. You know what I mean? And I think there's no perfect coach, and I agree. Great point. He is working more with less, but it's just so clear. He's stuck in his ways, and I'm thinking maybe a little bit too forward in the future on where this team is going, and what his actions are doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey fellas, I'm gonna need to step out. I gotta handle some business.
Handle your business,
chopping it
buddy.
up with y'all.
Handle your business.
And hopefully we can hook up again soon. Salute, brothers.
All right, DJ.
All right, man.
Take care, man. All right.
And by the way,
right,
when you say what his actions are going to do you believe if Tibbs get all the right players and things fall in his lap, and he gets all the guys to play his style of play at a high level, do you not think we'll be happy as Knicks fans?
Of course. We'll be happy. We'll be happy.
Right, because that's why Freezy every day has got some crazy trade, not crazy trade, but something that really worked for us. Doesn't rip the hell, like he said, he wants to change this artwork here, move that artwork there. That's why Freezy comes up with these options every day. So that way, if it works out, we're winning sooner than later. Because Freezy wants to go to the playoffs this year.
But I don't trust Uncle Freezy at all.
Oh, get me out the way.
Because I think Kev says that because he knows that I will trade that dead weight to bring in something more valuable.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't waiting around. I'm not gonna let the dust settle. You know what I'm saying? You know, what I want to do is win right away. I'm double parked, right? I got a pot of beans on the stove.
But I do want Cade, man. I do want Cade.
Hey, me too. And me too. And in a perfect world, we can win a championship and get Cade. Right.
Yeah.
But our world is imperfect.
Yeah.
But I think Knicks fans, and it kills me because every time I go on Knicks channel, let's tank for Cade. we've been trying to get Zion. We've been trying to get
LaMelo,
LaMelo Ball. You can name that number one pick. We was trying to get it, and we
Yeah, I
have
don't think
not
it's gonna
gotten
happen.
it. I mean, I wish people would stop trying to put so much faith into a system that is.
Yeah.
It's like trying to win the lottery.
Exactly.
It's like the other. It was like the
And
other
it
day. I
is the
seen this.
lottery.
Yeah.
Nothing I hate. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, nothing I hate more
Yeah.
is that when I'm going to the convenience store and
Uh-huh.
I got something I'm purchasing, right, and I'm ready to go purchase it, and there's this fool talking about, oh yeah, can I have the number 16? Can I have this one? Whatever. They buying the scratch offs. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
right,
Well, me,
right.
yeah, well, me, I got things to go. You know what I'm saying? They're banking on a hope. I mean, yeah, I would love to get King too if he's legit. But the thing is, it's like I got here and now, and I got the
Right.
Dallas pick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Oh, wait a minute. Who is
Yeah,
that?
that's what I'm looking at.
The shooter calls a 3. That's a 3, you fool. That's a 5. You your blind self. Yeah, hey, CP, you remember that from that movie Hall of Nights?
Yeah,
when Benny was calling the dice game, and then they're like, the shooter calls a 3. That ain't no 3.
I got something. Get it out there, you black.
Hey, Kev, y'all be having too much fun, man. Yeah, Kev have too much fun on here.
You got to. You got to.
Yo.
I would do it at night,
but CP the artist. My position is, I don't ever expect to get number one, but if we made sure we got the most, because I totally agree with you. It makes no sense. The best way to figure out what we got in Frank, if I can't pull a Freezy deal ASAP, is to get Frank on the floor. I have an asset. They're all assets. Now, I don't think their value can fall any worse than what it is because they're still expiring. But I don't think it's right for these guys not to hit the floor unless I'm sorry, my wife just called. Unless Burks, Bullocks, and Rivers were playing through the roof. I'm more mad at Burks, Bullocks, and Rivers than anybody else. But let me see what my wife wants. My son is bugging about food, so I'm sure she's gonna ask me to do something. Give me 1 sec.
All right. Hey, Kev, CP, I'm gonna step off the view for a few minutes to allow y'all to eat, right? To let y'all do y'all thing. Okay. Right.
Wait a minute. I'm in control. I got this power.
Oh,
we got two.
You got it. Where's Jay Boogie?
We got two Frank. Oh no. We got somebody else.
Mr. Chop.
After you say that, I don't know if you wanted to call it the Frank Morning Drive. Welcome to the Frank Morning Drive, featuring Cornerstone Kev and CP the artist. All right, hey.
Salute, my brother.
Salute.
What's up, Chop? How you feeling?
Let me tell you, Kev. Let me tell you something. One thing about your laugh.
Morning, Uncle Kev. Sorry, go ahead.
Uncle Kev, we need to put your laugh on the ringtone, man.
On the
ringtone. That could wake me up in the
morning.
Yo,
his laugh is the best.
Why?
If you down and out,
is it really that good?
Kev will make you happy. I love Kev laugh. I'm not gonna
laugh as my ringtone, man. For real, I will answer my phone if that freaking laugh is on my ringtone.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, copyright, man. Copyright.
All right.
All right. So let me ask you. So why does Frank get so much hate, man? Why does he get so much hate?
Well, he disappointed. He disappointed Knicks fans that had expectations, and you know that anybody that comes to the team, whether you're a rookie, whether you're a free agent, trade, whatever, you are held to a higher expectation.
Yeah.
And Frank was never made for New York to get in the opportunity. Nobody comes here and the fan base is going to be 100% on there. I've been a Knicks fan for over 35 years, and I remember the hell that Patrick Ewing went through.
Right.
And I was a big Patrick fan, and so the expectation is high until you win. It's a show and prove. That's why we're Knicks fans, and we're Knicks fans because we hold our team to a high expectation. Yeah, and even though I'm a Frank fan, I gotta admit he hasn't, and I think because it's like the whole like any draft pick that we potentially get. I'm always questioning: are they made for New York, or will the fan base be patient enough to see it through? See the
Which we're not,
development
right?
Before they say he's trash, and we can't.
Right.
That's the answer to why we.
Yeah, I get it. Now let me ask you this: so from Frank's draft to now, I think to go back to your statement about if they're made for New York, I don't know if Frank was made for New York. I thought Kevin Knox was made for New York.
I didn't think so.
You didn't think so? What about Mitch? What about Mitch?
Mitch is.
I think he is.
I think Mitch is.
He is.
I think he is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go back one more before Frank. Did you think Porzingis was made for New York?
No. No. I wanted Porzingis traded before he was traded.
Really?
And yes, and I died on a hill in another chat because I didn't see I seen more of a pretty boy than I saw a franchise player. He wanted to be this 7'3" small forward. Didn't want to go into the paint because he was light in the behind and he was fragile. Yeah. And the injuries before he blew out his knee. I'll remember this like it was the back of like it was yesterday. It was a 2017 season, going 18 season. And he had a stretch where he was breaking Knicks scoring records for the first, I don't know, 30 days. He was scoring, over 30 points. And I remember that Laker game against Lonzo Ball. Yeah. That was the last kind of like everything from there went up and down, downhill. From where he had his hot streak, he burnt out very quickly. And you look at his physical frame, he wasn't in his man body as he is today. Right. And then also it was like the diva presence. You can't be like, you have to be a star and you have to win something in New York in order to become a diva and have that right to.
If Dolan would have let Phil Jackson trade KP, we would have Tatum and Marketing. Now,
wow,
get out of here! Yeah,
you don't remember that? Yeah.
No, oh wow.
Yeah.
I remember the marketing. I remember the marketing.
Oh, the Celtics wanted him back. The Celtics wanted him back. So we were going to trade KP and who did we draft that year? Knox?
No.
Frank.
Frank.
Yeah, because Marketing with the pick right in front of Frank.
Yeah, Marketing was the pick right in front of Frank.
Now here's the thing about Phil. It's like there's a saying, even a fool is right sometimes. You know what I mean? Or wisdom out of it. It was like one of those things where Phil did so much bad for the franchise. It's like no one could trust that trade. Right. No one could trust that trade.
So CP, let's do it. Other than him sitting out in Montana and not really getting involved with the culture, and other than him pushing some antiquated system through some hand-picked through some hand-picked coaches who couldn't. What Phil did not. We're living today because of Phil. We got RJ because of Phil. He didn't trade any draft pick away. He didn't put any salary on it. He refused to build around Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, he just got the wrong free agents. That's all. He got the wrong free agents.
Which free agents did Phil get?
That's what I'm saying.
Noah. Okay, Noah. I'm sorry. Noah did.
Courtney Lee. He made the Derrick Rose trade.
Let me hear Ghetto's final point.
I'm sorry.
Courtney Lee's not, he didn't hurt you long term. Noah, I'm sorry, I forgot about Noah. I'm glad y'all brought up free agent because he did. Noah dragged him around in the streets by his arm. So then he said his shoulder was good, but other than Noah, well, the Ntilikina did hurt. You know, and Frank, I guess okay. Let me fall back. Phil did some damage, but he didn't hurt us for the future. Phil hurt his tenure. There's guys Isaiah, Mills. There's a couple guys who traded away that hurt the future. Phil didn't put no crazy salaries on here, and he didn't get rid of no draft.
Wait a minute. What did I do?
No,
what did Mills do? What did I do?
Wait a minute, Kevin, hold on. I think he did hurt us with
he did. Oh, absolutely.
Tim Hardaway.
Oh, absolutely.
That was ridiculous.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think Courtney Lee was way too long of a contract.
So right. Tim Hardaway got signed.
And what about
Tim Hardaway got Tim? Hold on, Kev. Tim Hardaway got signed after Phil got fired. Mills did Tim Hardaway's contract all by himself.
Yeah, that was Mills.
Yeah.
What about Brandon Jennings? What about Brandon Jennings?
Again, remember what I said? He was trying his damnedest just to put guys with Melo. Now, I'm saying Phil did nothing to hurt us. He hurted his own tenure. Okay. Nobody's sitting here now saying I can't do nothing because of what Phil did. Where every other president who took the job before Phil had to suffer from the president before them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so I never thought that in my life somebody would defend Phil Jackson's tenure. But you know what? I applaud that, man.
I hated Phil. Yeah. I didn't think he was wrong about Melo because he said, "Listen, with this ball, the NBA is changing. The bully ball is over. The ball's got to move fast. I got to get other guys interested in the game if I want them to play defense." And guess what? He wasn't wrong about the slow pace of play because Tibbs is doing that today. So he just didn't have the right people coaching it. Tibbs is coming down saying, we're going to play slow, we're going to play triangle, and we're going to be deliberate. Phil said, we're going to play slow. Go ahead.
You make great points, but the thing was also, too, is that if you're going to have a system that you think is going to work, you have to get the players to play in that system.
Right.
And be able to be successful. But you have to adjust on the fly and be like, okay, I don't have the players, so let me allow the coach to put in whatever system he wants. He didn't allow that with Hornacek or
Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher,
right? Well, but he was out with the ladies, so.
Here's the thing. CP, get ready though. CP, get ready. Because you got a guy as stubborn as Phil now. Tibbs is not going to make adjustments. He's not going to use the talent he has. He's
used to what he's used to.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's used to what he's. Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
So going back to what we were saying, CP. So we go from Knox and Mitch. The next one is RJ. Is RJ? Yeah. You think he's made for New York?
Of course.
Yeah. Hell yeah! He's born for this, and he's born for this.
Okay. Barretiers, stand up! Here I am, Pepe. Pepe. When it comes to RJ Barrett, when it comes to RJ Barrett, I'd have Pepe.
I'd have Pepe. Yes.
So my deal is with so there are some guys who have attachments to certain NBA players or to certain Knicks players. When we talk about Kevin Knox, Kevin W. and the Prince Bun will go to the end of the earth to defend Kevin Knox. Even his DMPs will win a game and Knox will get a DMP and they will be like, you know the reason why we won is because in every dead ball timeout, Kevin Knox was up cheerleading for the guys. Morale is very important. Morale is great. Kevin and Knox waved that towel faster than you've ever seen a player on the bench wave a towel. Right? That's what nonsense will do.
They'd be like, "Oh, it's Black History Month, and Kevin's light skin, so he stood down for the black brothers,
Right.
the dark skin brothers. He
represents for
let the dark
everybody.
skin brothers shine."
Yeah, he took a
y'all
step
crazy, man.
He took a step back, man. Look how
I'm
unselfish
here
Kevin
today,
Knox
man.
is.
I'm ready to chat, man. I'm here today.
So,
Man, I love it, man. Y'all
so
crazy,
CP,
man.
CP is right. He like Kevin Knox is like the light skinned brothers are letting all the dark skinned brothers have these things.
shine.
Look how unselfish he is. Right? Right? But and then the Frankers will be like,
oh my god.
the Frankers will be like, yo, you know Frank shoots 50% from the corner three. Well, how many did he take? 2. Well, no. He made 1. So of course it's 50%. He only took 2.
Hold on.
Rachel, you gonna give me a heart attack in the car laughing.
But they be like, but he shoots 50% from the corner 3. That's a real stat.
Hold on, Uncle Freezy. As you're saying that, but why, as Knicks fans, we hate on our own players? It's like we trying to prove a point. We were like, man, I hate this dude. Da da da. You see, he can't play. Da 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 da. He's on our team. It's like,
Right.
Okay, self-confession. I'm a Frank fan. I told myself, do not hate on Emmanuel Quickly if he's good. I had to program myself that because I'm a Frank fan, because I don't want to be like those Frank fans that don't see a gem in Emmanuel Quickly, like, he all right, he all right, he ain't all that,
He a combo guard.
We end up hating people that ended up like, it's like the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? Civil War. At the end of the day, like, it's just like a civil war. So it's like we do that too on the other side of things.
Other sports.
And that's
in
what I
life.
try.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chop. That's what I try and preach. I mean, they're on our team. We got to support them. We got to. They're not embarrassing. They're not embarrassing the organization. Support them. I mean, that's what other fans do with their teams. They support them. As bad as the Dallas Cowboys are,
whoa,
as bad as they are,
People still love that. Yo, yes, you're right.
Still love them.
Yeah.
Nah, we hate Jerry Jones. Let's not go there. We hate the owner. Listen. I'm a Knicks fan, a Met fan before during the Wilpon days, and a Cowboy fan. I had the 3 worst owners in each one of the major sports franchises. Dolan's getting better now. But I refuse to have a favorite player. And I guess as I'm getting older, I tried to latch on the Knicks.
But you support the team.
Oh, my goodness. I'm never leaving the Knicks. But I'm going to tell you 3 players that, and you know what? Let me say 2 definitely. And 1, the jury's out on him. He might be sitting on the bench for that $10 million. I have never been more disappointed in Burks, Rivers, and Bullock. I'm telling you, this could be an amazing season. I'm telling you, we can then give Burks some money to stick around. We can then draft wherever we draft. I'm telling you, these 3 guys had the chance to turn this franchise around ASAP.
Yeah,
right. Agreed.
Yeah.
ASAP. They could have made Tibbs the coach of the year. They would have made Leon Rose in the management with the culture. Free agents would have been banging on the door. Get rid of that Burks guy. I want what he's doing. These guys, these veterans have dropped the ball. So that's why Campy is so upset at Knox. Other than his motor, Frank, I feel bad for Frank that Tibbs won't put him. That Tibbs is so darn bullheaded that he won't put him in over Burks or Bullock.
Right.
And I know, it won't be that much of a fall off. It won't. But I can't argue with Tibbs. Tibbs has his mind made up. I don't want to keep changing coaches. I don't want to. I see the culture changing, so I'm holding on to glimmers of hope. But if Freezy has spoke something into existence, that one day Leon Rose and Worldwide West and Tibbs are going to get in the room and argue about who to draft, we're in big, big, big trouble because Rose and West don't know nothing about coaching basketball.
Right.
Tibbs is the CEO, the chairmen of the organization. If there is a disconnect there, it's very sticky times for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Right.
Now let me.
So Kev,
Yes.
you're a Franker, right?
Yes.
That's why you didn't let me talk about RJ Barrett. That's why you didn't let me talk about RJ Barrett. All I wanted no, about 8 minutes ago in real time, you said let's talk about RJ Barrett, right?
And Kev, I hate to interrupt. Let me set this up right because you didn't see the show last night, Kev.
No, I didn't.
It got real bad. It got if Freezy wasn't sharing this platform, and I got to set this up, Freezy, very important.
Yeah.
If he didn't share this platform the way he did, Freezy would have cut that camera off last night. Go, Freezy.
And so the thing is when it comes to this joint, we created it. So give you an example. I remember back in the day, our guy Ron Cleveland used to call a show, right?
Yep.
And so he called a show, and he'd go, man, and everybody would be going crazy. Oh, it's Ron Cleveland and such and such.
Yeah.
And so Ron Cleveland would have about 40 seconds to get his thoughts out, and then the host had to move on, right? Mm-hmm. And it's no shade on the host, because when you're producing a show, you have to make sure that you have to ensure that you keep continuity and flow, right? You have to do that, right?
Right.
And so we would be excited to hear Ron Cleveland come on, right? So I was like, yo, what if we do a thing where Ron Cleveland can come on and talk as much as he wants? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What if we had a thing where
you birthed Ron Cleveland?
Huh?
You birthed Ron Cleveland?
Well, no, I ain't saying that. But how about
Ron Cleveland?
How about I'll say this on the Knicks hill. I reached down and gave him a hand up because somebody reached down and gave me a hand up too. You know what I'm saying? And Ron will tell you that. But I use Ron for an example. So what it is like for others, like we reach down and give people a hand up because in the grand scheme of things, we all want to get to the precipice, right?
Right.
And so G, I was like, yeah, me.
You birthed me, but go ahead.
And so the thing is when you do that, when you allow people to come on and have them do their thing, sometimes conversations get heated because the person speaking may think the audience does not feel what they're saying, or what they are saying is being lost to the audience because others are interrupting. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that was the feeling last night, but it shouldn't have been, right? Because we all like when we get on, I don't ever say, hey, CP, you got to hurry up with your point because we got to move on. I don't ever do that. I believe in a different type flow, in this setting. So last night kind of got.
Unfortunately, though, people don't have that wrap it up music in their brain.
Right.
I gotta wrap it up music in my brain. You know what I'm saying? Like people could 1975.
And they feel like the thing they're talking about is the most important thing that's going on at the time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they don't have a sense for the room, right?
Yeah.
As Joe Button said, the art of shutting the F up is lost.
Right.
Little plug. If anybody didn't know, I did the Joe Button's logo, and he's my.
Yo, CP, I like you. You're
really,
bro.
I didn't know that.
You're interesting.
I did Girl I Guess and the other one logo. Yeah, so
oh, you CP the artist that be on CP show when you call up, right? He always salutes you in the salute.
Sir. Okay. And so I'll tell you this, and this is gonna sound disrespectful, but it's a compliment.
Okay.
The thing with CP the artist is I don't care about none of that stuff. right? Yeah, I care about when I hear the dude talk. I think the dude is interesting, right? I don't care about none of that stuff, like the resume stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's fine, it's cool, and congratulations. But I hear CP the artist talk, and I'm like, this dude is interesting. I like talking to CP the artist, right?
Mhm.
And so for people that hear me say stuff like that, they're like, dang, Uncle Freezy is mad disrespectful. I don't mean it as that. You know what I'm saying? What I mean is this. Like when people come on, like for instance, I'll give you another example. So Stephen Fox has a long resume of people that he used to work with, right? A long resume of people that he used to work with, people at Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, all this other stuff, right? He made them billions of dollars, right?
Right.
But when I talk to Stephen Fox, I don't care nothing about that.
Right.
I don't care if he sat in boardrooms with CEOs of Fortune 500 companies and they would not hold a meeting until Stephen Fox got there. I don't care about that. What I care about is when Stephen Fox come here, when he chop it up with us, he's interesting to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The person, the individual.
The individual. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff, while it sounds disrespectful from that, I don't care nothing about that stuff, man. Because if I tell y'all some of my backstory, y'all will be like, man, I would never have gotten that from Uncle Freezy. You know what I'm saying?
I never knew you were in Vietnam.
No.
Hey, he better not been in Vietnam.
Yeah.
He was with my dad. He was with my dad.
Yeah. Freezy, I want you to finish your story, but I'm an OC. I need to tell everybody who CP is. He's that guy. If you're around him, you better punch him before he punch you, because his punches, because you're gonna get punched sitting around him.
Right.
I love listening to him.
So
the same way I like listening to Kev laugh. I'm sorry.
So Cornerstone's Kev's laugh is a national treasure. You know what I'm saying? Cornerstone Kev's laugh is a national treasure, right? So like a part of my backstory is this, and I'm gonna keep this real short, right? So I have like experiences managing portfolios and stuff. Like dudes used to come to me, like broke dudes used to come to me. Like all they'd have is like $100,000, and they'd be like, Uncle Freezy, I want to be a millionaire like such and such, right? And I'd tell them, you know, listen, if you want to be a millionaire like such and such, you're gonna have to willing to be patient and make sacrifices like such and such made. We're not gonna skip steps. You're gonna give me this money and you're gonna leave me alone, right? You're gonna give me this money and you're gonna leave me alone. I'm gonna take this money that you're giving me and I'm gonna turn it, I'm gonna flip certain things. And over the course of a certain amount of time, I'm gonna set your retirement up from one aspect, from one line of revenue. I'm gonna give you some spending cash every month from a certain other line and all that stuff. And then I'm gonna build this pot for you to reinvest. But your net worth is $100,000, right? And I want you to give me 65,000 of it. And so they'd be like, wait a minute. You want me to be broke? Hey man, sometimes it requires that if that's all you have. And so like 5 to 7 years in, these guys are like upgrading their cars. I'm like, hey dog, why? What was wrong? What was wrong with the BMW? Why do you need the biggest Mercedes-Benz that money can buy? Man, I'm making, I got this money. Calm down, man. You said you wanted me to do such and such. So anyway, so I come from a line of that and a line of other stuff. But I don't speak to that stuff on the show because what makes us, what grows our chemistry is us talking about a certain thing, like the commonalities that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like or like our commonalities. Like I come on here and tell a weird story, and CP the artist think that's funny talking about I was in Vietnam, right? But it's funny, you know what I'm saying? Things like that are hilarious to us, and that's why we have a good time here. So anyway, I said all of that to say this. So I'm distracted because I want to put the thing back in the chat. But so here's the thing. The thing about us is man, we get along because it's fun and it's organic here, and cats come on the joint and nobody is trying to big up the other person. It's the reason why our chat grows from month to month. Our chat gets bigger and bigger every month, and people like Chuck D are saying our name on Twitter because or referring to us on Twitter because we have an organic feel and flow, and no one person is bigger than the other. Go ahead, Gian, my bad.
No, but I need you to keep telling the story from last night, though. That's where you were, because I think it's very important. If we don't continue to critique and tweak the brand, then the brand will get stuck and it won't grow. You guys know I do business, and I help companies grow, right? And really from an accounting and standpoint, but I also being around so many smart minds, I learned, man. That AT&T logo, I used to work for AT&T.
Right.
And when I looked and I was like, what's this 10? I said, what's this $10 million that just sit on the books and it doesn't move? And they said, well, that's the branding. I said, what do you mean the branding? Like we don't write it up, we don't write it down. They said, that logo, the AT&T ball, that's worth $10 million.
Right.
If people see it, they know what it is. And I started saying, oh, that's what marketing is. Like CP the artist said, I created Joe Button's logo. That you see that, you know Joe Button, you automatically, it moves your mind in a certain way. And when I want them to see this brand, I want them to think of a certain thing. Different individuals can't come in and push their will. No one was bigger. No one at the company was worth $10 million all the time.
Right.
And was never going to depreciate. At some time the CEO gets older, he's not worth what the salary he's taking home. He gets pushed out the door. But that logo was going to continue to be worth $10 million. So I say that to say that no person that comes on here and hits this video chat is bigger than the brand. And right now, CEO Freezy is the CEO and chairman of that brand. And I know you have different sergeants and people you put in charge of things. And it's just sometimes guys come on and they get so caught up in their emotion. And CP the artist said it. The art of shutting the fuck up is law. Oh, did I say that? Oh my
goodness. Right. But you know what though? The thing is when you create a space because for one people forget that this is a podcast. So we catalog it so people can follow along from day one to present day and stay with the takes and stuff and listen and become fans and look to contribute. They hear us say things like subscribe to the channel, like the live stream, join the video chat, join the virtual chat, turn your notifications on, share on social media. And if you feel so inclined to help the channel grow, then you can submit a super chat if you'd like to help us upgrade technology or send money to Lawrence Tears on Cash App or whatever. So they hear us say all these things. They hear us talk about these topics. They hear our stances on players. They grow with us, like as we grow in our fandom. Like for instance, Cornerstone Kev has took a major step forward and not just being Frank fan number one, but Knicks fan number one. Right? He's like, well, if Frank is not going to do it for us, I can't hate on Emmanuel Quickly. If Emmanuel Quickly is going to do it for us.
See, now that's where you're wrong, because I always love Quickly.
No, I'm using just as an example. But they watched the growth from October when it was just sportscaster only, and we were testing the market to see if this thing worked as we bought it from Twitter. So we were on Twitter, me, Chuck B, Free Keith, Art, Udi Mac, a bunch of us, Teddy, a bunch of us bought it from Twitter to this platform. Like, so last year I said, so we have a Twitter thread, a Knicks Twitter thread that has been living for 5 years. Why not bring that Knicks Twitter thread from Knicks Twitter to YouTube?
Right.
I guaranteed everybody. I said, listen, if we bring it to video, how we feel, the fans will love it. People will absolutely love it and eat it up because it'd be a equal platform where everybody is rowing the boat at the same time, helping this thing, come to life. And eventually we'll pick up people from other areas as this thing snowballs, and we'll get fresh perspectives, and the conversation will be more robust and round and layered, so that when we talk, we won't have stale conversations like Elfrid Payton can't shoot. We'll have legit conversations that are robust and deep with people that are intellectually gifted, who can peel back layers and relay the information in a way that everybody can understand their position and the Knicks' position relative to where we are in the season or off season.
Minus the F-bombs.
Minus the F-bombs. and so we do that. Hey, shout out to the Legion of Knicks podcast too, by the way.
That's my man.
So we
not to cut you off, but you know what the beauty of it? 'Cause I live in Atlanta now. I lived in Jersey for over 30 years. Moved to Atlanta. Was like, okay, I will never be a Hawks fan.
Right.
Then years later, started with nothing but Knicks, and then from that, just ended up on your channel. You know what I'm saying? The beauty of a Knicks fan is
our channel. CP, our channel. This is not my channel. It's our channel. I keep saying that, man, but I don't mean that.
Okay, all right. I'll be waiting for my super chat check. And, the mail first.
Okay.
That's a good one.
It's our channel.
He wants his 35 cents of the AdSense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Google takes a lot. But anyway, the thing about this Knicks fandom, there's nothing like it. Even when I disagree, I disagree with somebody, right? And it feels like, okay, we're family still. Like it's like we have all these different perspectives. There's no fan base like a Knicks fan. None at all. I don't know any other channel that has this many channels that are successful channels. Even the bad ones are successful. You know what I'm saying? Of passionate Knicks fans that thank you, whoever was beeping. Thank you. I don't know.
Right.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm dropping. You know what I mean? Yeah, they sending
Yeah, boss.
Good.
That was it. I'm good.
Yeah, so
you destroyed it, man. You destroyed the ending of the story. Man. I don't know what I used to live in Philadelphia, and we didn't have this StreamYard and YouTube and stuff, and I just felt so disconnected to the Knicks, man. We had the internet, so you could Google stories, but it's not the same. And now I live here. It's been COVID. This StreamYards and COVID and Zoom has kept me so connected to family. And then I feel like, and then we got multiple channels. Yesterday I literally was on here for 4 hours, and then I went in Ron's chat, and Ron was like, I need you up here. I was on Ron for 2 hours. My wife looked at me like, hey buddy, you don't work for the Knicks. So I had to tell. She said, can I watch the game with you? So I had to tell Legion, you know what, I got to back out, Legion. I can't sit on there for another 4 hours with you. But then next thing you know, she falls asleep and I'm watching the Knicks at night. Yesterday, I took in about 8 hours of the day, snuck in a couple of hours of work. But 8 hours of the day yesterday for me was just New York Knicks. I mean, the level of content is crazy.
You know what's crazy? When I go on YouTube, and I watch Knicks Fan TV replay, from stuff I missed. I go to bed early, and then I'm on your channel, Freezy, and then I gotta get off to do work and all that stuff, and then I go back on YouTube. Y'all still live? I'm like, what are they talking about?
Right.
It's been a whole day.
Right. And so the level of passion. So the level of passion is different, and then plus the shows are different. Like I take pride in us having a podcast format where it's the subject matter is the Knicks, but it's not all about the Knicks, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's different from, say, a Legion of Knicks who's going to break down certain stuff and educate the viewer about what's going on with the Knicks stuff. Like for me, and I like that. So Legion of Knicks podcast, his joint is top 3 for me because it is.
I gotta shout out Jay Boogie, man, for shouting me out. I mean, Jay Boogie, I'm one of your biggest fans, so salute back to you.
Yeah, salute Jay Boogie. Get on. Put the link back, Unc. Sorry,
I put it in there like 3 times already.
Oh,
He
all right.
don't. He
Yeah,
don't
so,
want. He don't want to come.
yeah, and then plus two. Thank you, Parish Duggar, for the super chat. So Parish Duggar says, "Great channel, Freezy. One love, Knicks family." The reason why the channel is great, in my opinion, is because the level of sincerity is so high that sometimes people get so passionate that people legit can feel the realness of the people that come on. Like if I say Frank Ntilikina sucks, Cornerstone Kev is gonna go off, but it's real.
Yeah, he
But it's
got
real
that
go
vein
off.
popping out of his head right now.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
little vein right here.
yeah,
That
yeah.
little vein right here, man.
Yeah. And so on the Knicks at Night podcast, when Kev W is on, and I say, "Hey, Kevin Knox sucks, and he's soft too." Yeah, AAU baby. Kevin W is gonna go off, and it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people feel that realness on the joint, and you don't often get that on other joints. So I know in the grand scheme of things, we're orphans. Like we're the the weird kids of the family. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you look at it in this way, we're just this podcast right here is just different, right? So it's different, right? So on Blarn's Tears, we have a Blarn's Tears debate champ. Chuck B has his own show called Knicks Versus that he shoots his own show, and that we air his stuff on, right?
Wow.
There's a Knicks Morning Drive, and so so we have a whole bunch of other stuff that we add to the channel, and it makes us different. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make us for better or worse. It doesn't make us a throwaway. We just find it better to offer up something that's different and cater to people's talents. Like some people like Gi has a gift for keeping everybody incorporated into the conversation, and so does Stephen Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
The one thing I like about GI is that he's a pragmatic person like myself, meaning
Right.
that 2 + 2 has to equal 4. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
going under the surface of things that we don't even think about, and that gives gravity to points. You know, and you too, Freezy. That's one thing I gotta give you flowers for. You go underneath. You should be a lawyer. I think you guys should be a lawyer, like for real. Like you got it. You could argue points, or a debater somehow. You know what I'm saying? You can argue points because you guys see another perspective of things that the average Knicks fan think. Like when people say, "Oh, I argue with the Knicks fan," he said, "Oh, trade Julie Kendall right now so we can get 2 first-round picks," and it's like, okay, you're thinking with emotion. Shannon Sharp said something I will never forget. Shannon Sharp says, when your emotions are high, your logic runs low.
When your emotions are high, your logic runs low.
Exactly.
Okay.
And to your point, Uncle Freeze, it's like some of us as Knicks fans, we are so passionate. We live and die by the wins and losses. And we kind of, some of us, lose reality of to the situation. You know what I'm saying? We're more, we want to be heard than to hear. And I think a lot of Knicks fans begin to that we live and die by their wins, and it's toxic. You know, we got to step back. You know, my position on things that was so. I'm gonna say it. About a week ago, I was ready to trade RJ Barrett. A week ago. Because of and hear me out, because of the lack of shooting that he was doing and efficiency, I just didn't see that all-star that was going to propel us. Now that was a knee-jerk, feeling.
Reaction.
Reaction. I vocalized it on other channels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then now I had to step down off of that position And be honest, I was an idiot. You know what I mean? Because I forgot about this potential gem that we had. And but you know, like I said, I was having a bad week. You know, things was going wrong. You know, and it was like a frustrating moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey guys, I got to get off. Unfortunately, I really want to, continue with this and everything because you guys.
Kev, don't talk
Yeah,
scare
Joe,
you off.
really, Joe? Why you come so late, man? First off, how you feeling? How's your health?
Nah, I
How you
feel
feeling?
good. I feel
Good,
good.
great,
Yeah,
great, great, great.
just gotta
Okay,
quarantine a couple more days, but
I
other
hear
than
you.
that, I feel good.
Okay,
You
Hey,
got
Good to
COVID,
see you. Good
man?
to see you.
you ain't
Yeah,
got
yeah, I got
COVID,
COVID.
CP.
I had COVID.
Wow.
Yeah,
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. My
CP, the
niece
artist.
says it too.
yeah.
So
CP the
But
artist is my man. I hear him on Knicks fan TV a lot.
Right.
absolutely,
Him and
absolutely,
Jay Boogie.
absolutely. Hey, I ain't gonna
Right.
lie.
well, no, 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 no. That's
They
not
have a
me.
beautiful. They have a beautiful host
No,
with
he
them.
said you and Jay Boogie.
They have a beautiful host,
No, 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 no,
CP
no.
and Jay
I'm
Ellis.
not. I'm not
That,
that
no, he's
CP.
not No, he's
No,
not Casey Powell.
no.
That's
No,
not that CP.
but CP and Jay Ellis, they have a beautiful host with them.
No.
Yeah.
He calls into
Yeah,
CP.
Oh, okay. All right.
CP the
Yeah,
All right.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I know you're
Thank
not
you. Thank
CP.
you.
No, I know
yeah.
you. I hear
Absolutely,
you
Hey,
call in a lot
absolutely.
CP.
all the time.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kev, I'll see you later.
Okay, guys, take care. Okay,
Uh,
love
All
you.
right,
All
boss
right,
man.
man.
hey,
Take it easy,
All
CP.
right.
bro.
Okay, take
What's
care.
I
up?
tell you this: if Washington Wizards call up and say, "Give us RJ in the second round pick," I tell you what, RJ is out of here for
For what?
for Bradley Bill.
Oh,
Out
well,
of here.
That was where I was going. That
Out
was
of
where
here.
I was going. I
Now
was
they
going
wouldn't.
with Bradley Bill, like the Bradley Bill, like okay, she's not gonna be watching this, but I'm honest with my girl, right? I'm like, look, we started this relationship, and she's like, oh, guys are like never satisfied. It's like and I was like, you're right, because you're gorgeous. I can find somebody more gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? And the whole Bradley Beal thing was coming up. He wanted out, and I'm like, what can we offer? And then back in my mind was like, we can't score. We need a shooting guard. Do we? And RJ came to mind. So that's when the debate happened. Would I give a Bradley Beal for at that time for RJ? I was thinking yes, but then I was Knicks fan TV. They were talking about it, and it was like, hey, he could want out next year too, and we would lose everything. And plus, we would
right,
have to give up the town
right.
for Bradley Bill.
For
So
Bradley
then
And
Bill.
I was off of it.
that's why I said. That's why I said if it was RJ in the second round pick, that would have been done already. But that would never happen.
That would never
Nah,
happen.
they're gonna want more. You may the price of picks will go down, but you're still gonna have to give up a first or two because RJ's a talent and an old world. It has a serious upside, but he still is like a draft pick, an unknown commodity of yet. We know what he can do, but he's not that level of Beal. To me, the only person I would move Randall quicker than I move RJ in a Bradley Beal move. I think RJ is too young and is too much more upside. I think RJ is going to be better than what Randall is. I see Randall's already reaching his peak, and I don't think he can get too much better than what he is. RJ is
But
putting up 20, can put up 20 a game, but he's young and he can keep getting better.
but
Well,
would RJ
I'm here.
and Beal
I'm
be
here to
enough?
Huh?
I'm here to tell you that I wouldn't do all of that for Bradley. I wouldn't give up RJ for Bradley Bill because
No, we're just talking
Bradley.
hypotheticals.
No. And I'm just saying, just if you look at career trajectory, Bradley Beal was not a 20-point per game scorer until his fifth season in the NBA. Right? Right now, RJ Barrett is Bradley Beal year two. And I know people don't want to hear that, but if you look at the numbers across the board, RJ Barrett is exceeding what Bradley Beal did at this point in his career.
Yeah,
Mm.
but
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
and so Lawrence Mayberry says, "Morning, fellas. Thanks for the therapy session. Sometimes it just feels good to listen." Yep, bam.
So,
Yep.
so the reason
That'll sum it up.
my debate on that is, I'm not saying statistically. See, I go. You got to sometimes go. It's how they go about it, and
The
I'm
eye
just
test.
positive. You put the right guys around Bradley Bill, he's going to be that much better. Remember, it was a few years ago that the first injury Wall got, Bradley Bill went in there and had the assist. I just don't think it's a jump shot league. If it was the
Right.
old NBA, I'd be like, nah, I don't want no guy shooting jump. I want this guy going to the hole. It's a jump shot league, and you unfortunately got to have jump shooters. And Bradley Bill's jump shot. Right? If I would
It's
just have to
sweet.
bet
It's water.
hard
It
now
reminds you of
that RJ would never shoot like Bradley Bill.
yeah, and Bradley Beal reminds you of Allen Houston. That jumper is wet. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't see it in RJ's shooting form. I mean, it goes up slow. I know he's a
Right.
left-hander, and and he but he's a beast. He's a beast. He could
He's
bully
going
ball.
to the hard
Yeah.
that Euro that brought to the league.
Oh,
RJ took a jump shot. He took a 3-pointer last night. I think he came 2 inches. His legs, his feet came for a 3-point. His feet came 2 inches off the ground. I was like, RJ, come on, get low. He's strong upper body, so he tries
yeah.
to will the ball to the hole. Bradley Bill squats up, gets low, raises up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a totally different player, and his handle is much better than RJ's. We would
Right.
hope that RJ becomes as effective as
To my Bradley Beal right now.
Bradley Bill right now. Yeah.
Right.
Remember,
Right.
we only got these draft picks now. The ability to find another RJ, a raw talent who could get to the hole, you may never find a Bradley Bill, and RJ may not. See, I can't keep. And then remember, I'm 50 years old. I need to win sooner than later. This
Yeah.
Knicks team needs to
Yeah,
be
we double
relevant.
parked. Yeah, we are double
We,
parked.
we double park, man.
This Knicks
My
team.
thing, my worry is.
Hey Joe, I'm
Yeah.
gonna slide out so y'all can have the
All
thing
right.
to eat. Okay.
No problem, bro. My worry about the Knicks is, are we ready? Because I don't want a mellow thing where you give up the house and then Beal's got to work with whatever's left. Because
Absolutely.
it's more or less going to be the same situation as Washington. And he is a little bit more talent over in Washington now and they're not winning. Albeit he's got Russell Westbrook, who is dominating the ball. And Russell Westbrook, I wanted Russ this year, not gonna lie, but after seeing what's going on with him now, I don't want to touch him. But the thing with them is like you need to have pieces left over. You don't want to give up the house for Bradley
Right.
Beal. So I think
Right.
if we were 2 years ahead and we drafted two other guys, good solid players for this team, then I could see it. But the fact
Yeah.
is that, and people are already talking about, we need to start winning. This technically is the first year of a rebuild. Second, if you're going to count the last year, but this is a new regime, new coaching staff. It's the first year of a rebuild. And Knicks fans are already getting impatient. I mean, like, all right, who are we going to trade to start winning? And I get it because we've been losing for so long. But my fact is that let's wait it out and see what the front office is doing. This is a front office that's finally going to take their time and build this thing right. And we're already being halfway through the season. All right, who are we trading for? Where are we going?
Who are we tanking for?
Who are we tanking for? I'm not tanking for any, because the way the lottery is now, you've seen it with the Pelicans that year. Even though I think it was fixed because the AD was leaving, but the year they got Zion, they were like 3 or 4 games out of a playoff spot, and they ended up getting the number 1 pick.
I
So
agree.
you can do both.
Yeah.
And the way the Mavericks are playing, CP, if you know much about college basketball, the scouts are talking about this year as being probably the best draft since LeBron James, Wade, Carmelo Anthony draft. So if you could have a possibility, and you don't need to have a top 5 pick, but if you could have 2 lottery picks in this draft, that's a win. Because you could either move up for a guy, or you get 2 guys coming in to fill 2 positions, which mostly we all know is point guard and small forward.
But Joe,
Yeah,
what if
and that's
they
why
go ahead, CP?
And that's why I rather do that than throw it all away for Bradley Beal for one guy and more pieces to not guarantee. Because when you trade for Bradley Beal, there's already a ceiling. Here we have no ceiling. You're drafting guys and you can build a championship. But if you trade it all away, your ceiling goes to how far can Bradley Beal take us?
Yeah, and we're playing with house money because, as much as, Dallas is messing up, you know what I'm saying? They're failing. Like, we could make the playoffs and still get a first, not first round, high draft pick. You know what I mean? So we're playing with house money, you know what I'm saying? So, like, we don't have to give up the...
Don't throw it away because...
Joe, what if both teams barely make the playoffs We don't hit either team. No team hits in the lottery. They draft right where the numbers fall, and they're 8 and 9. Are we going to be okay with that? Because that's my only fear. If you tell me we're going,
what like the 8th pick and the 9th pick? To me, that's not bad because that's still two lottery picks. But at the same time, is we got to remember we have 2 seconds in a deep draft, and they're going to be high seconds. We have Detroit and we have Charlotte. Detroit is more likely going to be the number 1 or number 2 pick in the beginning of the second round. So you could use them to maneuver up back into the first, or you can package 8, 9, the 2 seconds to go up into the top 4, the top 5. See, that's the thing about having the draft compensation. But when you trade that all the way for Bradley Beal, yes, you're making the playoffs this year, but you're giving up Rondo, you're giving up RJ. You're not Mitch, Knox, DSJ, and a couple of picks isn't going to do it. Rondo or RJ are going to go. So
all right, I'll
then
be patient.
are you going to leave? Are you going to put? So you trade RJ, no one wants to touch. He's a young commodity who's getting better. So you don't touch RJ. RJ's untouchable. So then you want to trade Randall with Bradley Beal. So you just have RJ and Beal. That team still isn't ready to win yet. So what you're
Joe,
better
I
off
gotta,
doing is, yeah,
Joe, I gotta ask you, uh, how did you become a Knicks fan? You sound Irish.
Irish, yeah. I was born over here and then I was raised back. I was a baby when the family moved back home.
Oh,
So
okay.
and then my mother's American, so we used to come over here a lot, like every year, either the summer or for Christmas. So I used to either go to Knicks games or Yankee games. So that's how I become a fan. And then
Okay, all right,
I
cool.
moved back over here in 2014. I moved back. I lived in New York. I live up in New York, so in
Okay.
Yonkers, and that's all I love. That's all I love is the Knicks.
All right,
So Joe,
respect, man.
right now, what are you saying? 32 wins this season?
30 maybe.
Okay.
It depends because what we started balling out at the beginning of the year. You're looking at teams we played were teams that were in the bubble that were rusty, blah blah blah. But now the season's starting to set in. Our lack of it's not our play, it's not our defense has been very good, everything, but our lack of talent is going to show at some point. Which 30 wins isn't bad when you think it's a shortened season and what we were doing last year. Like we're playing good basketball. Thibodeau's brought us somewhere. We're getting it's an uphill trajectory. We could have gone down and won like 10 games, but we're already. That's the thing is we didn't have a great team. People like Vegas, everyone rejected us to have maybe 22 wins. Now that we won more games than we should have, now the expectations have rose, which I think
Yep.
that expectations still need to be the same because the
Yep.
lack of talent is gonna the
You
lack of
can't hide it.
talent's gonna kind of show. But
Well,
what,
look
to
at
me,
last night. We
yeah,
were playing one of the worst teams in the league, and we were up 20, and we man, let me tell you something. That game goes another 4 or 5 minutes, we lose.
yeah. Or if we play a team that's at least a little bit better, we lose. Yeah. And so the thing is, like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win games and we're gonna lose games. That's part of the season. But all I want to see is development. That's the one thing I don't like about what's going on with Tibbs is because you're seeing Mitch and you're seeing RJ develop, but the rest of the young guys ain't playing. So I don't
Joe,
want to.
Joe,
Yeah.
yeah, Joe. I said earlier. I was piggybacking off of Ashley Nicole Moss's point. If we ain't gonna do nothing with these guys, send them off for assets because
Yeah.
it's you can't be in the we can't be in the middle with it.
Yeah.
Can't let them rot.
That's what I think. If they're gonna try and make a playoff push, they need to do it soon because after we have Portland, we have the Heat. We lose 3 more games, we're going to be sitting at what, like 10-16 or 10-17 and around that range. Then it's an uphill climb. You want to make if what I was saying about this, what you're going to say, we're going to see about this front office, what their plan is at a trade deadline. Because if they don't make a move and Peyton is still our starting point guard, then you know they're looking at the draft. Because if they want to make the
And you may,
playoffs, they
yeah.
will know. They will make a move at point guard to get us there. But if they don't
Joe,
make it, then
You made a great point because I'm looking at the schedule now. We got Portland, Miami back to back, Wizards, Houston, Atlanta, Orlando.
it gets
We could
easier
probably
there. Yeah.
go a little easier. San Antonio. Yeah, we could make a run in February. A good strong run in February. So, and the East is bad. So yeah, after these, we should see where we're gonna
Yeah.
be
We're
at
not if we're
come
not 1 or 2 games at 500 on March 1st, if we're 6, 7 games under 500 at March 1st, and it's about getting them to the draft. Then I need to see Knox 15, 20 minutes a game. I need to see Neil Aquina
yeah.
12 minutes a game. I need Quickly starting. I
Yeah.
need Obi playing. And if that doesn't happen, if Burks, Rivers, and Bullocks are hogging and logging the minutes, then I'm really confused as
See
to
that
what it is
Me too.
because that's not getting them
that's
to
Me
the draft.
too. Me
that's
too.
to me that's the problem is I don't want to sneak into the 10 seed with vets with our young guys sitting there to rot. Then I rather lose with our young guys and showing a little bit of promise than sneak into a 10 spot with vets who aren't going to be in the long term future. Because Randall, Mitch is still up for a debate about if he's going to be here. But you're looking, Arjun and Randall are the only ones, and the rest of the guys in the rotation ain't going to be here. Obi quickly, Randall, and RJ, and possibly Mitch are the only ones that are going to be here. The rest of them vets are going to be gone. They're not in the long term
Facts.
answer. They might be here next year, but that's about it. So the thing is, me, I don't want to sneak into the 10 spot and then lose in a playoff round and screws up our draft stock.
Well, I
Like, 'cause
think 10
I want to
still,
see the
I don't
build,
think,
especially in this draft coming up. This draft coming up is like, oh my
well,
God.
well, see, that Joe, I'll be honest. This is where I'm lost. I
Yeah,
intentionally
I'm in the
stay
middle
away.
too. I don't know where
Okay.
we're at.
Okay, because y'all keep telling me about these top four guys, and I'm saying if it all was about getting these top four guys, then I would have never signed Burks to wet the bed. I would have never re-signed Bullock to wet the bed. I would immediately play Quickly. I would immediately play Obi, and we would be guaranteed. I said three. You corrected me before to say you tell me we're guaranteed four. And then as we're looking at a guaranteed four, and the media's killing us, the same old Knicks, they're garbage, blah, blah, blah. But then then once June comes, they start saying, holy smokes, the Knicks is going to get a franchise. They're going to get a franchise type player. They're going to get a generational player. And then
Possibly
you tell
two.
me, then you tell me we got four. And then they say, look at Dallas. Dallas has fallen to the lottery. You tell me we get 4 and 8, the number one pick is going to take 4 and 8. They will give up Cade for 4 and 8, the number one pick.
Yeah.
Then
And
then then
but,
then we got our Cade.
but the thing what scares me about it is like we're looking all these picks coming in, but we have a coach who doesn't want to play young guys. He don't play rookies. So we go and ended up being lucky and being gifted the number one pick and get Cade.
And
He
the
might struggle
conversation
to
that
play him.
yeah, but the conversation that we had earlier, I think it was Freezy that mentioned it about Tibbs is going to play whomever is going to produce.
Yeah.
Um, that's a good and a bad situation because yeah, he's all about winning and whatever. So if you're not producing, he's not going to play because we if what we're saying is true that he's not going to play any, then he wouldn't be playing Quickly. He would stash him whatever and play Frank because he's a Frank, quote unquote, a Frank
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
So if a person is producing at a high level, he will play them. Unfortunately, those players that are not quote unquote producing is our
Young
young
guys.
players
Yeah.
that we need to evaluate or trade or get rid of in the future. So he's tunnel visioned on putting the best guys out there. We'll worry about the future, later. So if whomever we get in the draft could play, he's gonna play him.
Well,
Yeah.
and
And
we and,
See, the thing about me
and
with Quickly is Quickly's been getting big minutes lately because Peyton has been stinking it up. And then Peyton had a good night last night. Quickly only got 13 minutes because Peyton was playing well. So if the vet is playing well, the young guy ain't going to see the floor. But if the vet's been stinking it up, then he's going to bring Quickly in because the guys behind him, frankly, are atrocious in Frank and DSJ.
Yeah, but if Cade is as good as y'all say he is, and history repeats itself, Tibbs still coached the youngest MVP in the history of the league. Is that not a stat?
Yeah.
Wait. He was the youngest MVP, but Tibbs got him in his third year.
Yeah.
He wasn't a rookie.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And to the thing with
and we know that Derrick Rose was nice. Like he was always nice.
You cannot put him on the bench. Like if we got a talent like that, you cannot put him on the bench. You'll be fired. Like New York, the city of New York would be going with pitchforks and knives to your house if you had that type of talent off the bench. And that's the thing with me coming out of this draft is I want two guys to push this instead of packaging this one to try and get higher. This draft is that deep that I would rather two guys because it'll step us along. Two guys I'm looking at is Suggs and Corey Kispert. Both guys out of Gonzaga. That's who I'm looking at. If you get a chance, look up Corey Kispert. He's a young Joe Harris. He's a 50, 40, 90 guy in Gonzaga this year.
No wonder Gonzaga's ranked. What do they rank? 1 or 2 or 3?
Yeah,
right?
they have Suggs at point guard. I want the two of them.
I'm gonna have to start really watching college basketball because
Yeah.
I don't know who these guys is.
No, don't hurt yourself because what it does is it hurts me watching this college basketball, and then I'm a Knicks fan too, and I want to win, but I'm like, my God, the Knicks have been losing for so long, but this year,
but we're fine. We got Dallas's pick. We're fine. We're fine. We'll be all right. We're fine. No worries.
But I'm like,
we can't control the future anyway.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's typical. I'm like, the Knicks decide to start winning the year before the best draft in a long time.
Well, that's my point, Joe. And so the conversations for me are all over the place, and I'm like, okay, but so then we're gonna end up with 8 and 9 again, and maybe I got PTSD, but 8 and 9 draft picks, they don't turn out for us. Even 5, even at 5. Well, we had 8. No, we had 8 last year. And they like, well, Obi's falling to us. But I'm looking at all the players they're taking before Obi, and I'm like, but why is Obi falling? And if he's so good, like if he's so ready, what are these other teams seeing?
Oh,
he's not ready. It wasn't even Tibbs. It was, I think Leon Rose just liked Obi, which scared me because I'm like, well, the media be killing the Knicks if they didn't draft quick because they wanted to trade up for Obi. Imagine now if they had traded up for Obi and what Obi's doing now, and they didn't have Quickly.
Oh man!
Because they would have that pick, the Quickly pick to move up for Obi.
Go ahead, you were going to say something.
But wait a minute. Like Quickly, like Obi, hindsight is always 20/20. We didn't know at 25 when we picked Quickly that he would be this. We didn't know when we got Obi, he would be like this. Because the same thing that they praise you for is the same thing that they curse you for. Mm-hmm. So it's like, at the end of the day, if Leon Rose gives Tibbs these ingredients to make this soup, he got to cook it. And it was a conversation I had earlier about Obi. It's like, does he need a point guard to get him going? You know what I mean? What do we have to unlock him? Or maybe Tibbs is not. And I'll shoot him some bail on this for Tibbs. Is that this was a shortened season, shortened mini camp. They are traveling like that. Games are happening. Maybe they don't have the time to implement plays and practice for Obi to get him going. Yeah. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's it's one of those things where you got to tell the Knicks fan patience.
You can't tell me patience.
Look, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, man.
Knicks fans are like, oh, we have to build this thing to the draft. Free agents are coming. Nobody's coming here. Build it to the draft. We're 20 games into a season. Oh, who we trading for?
There goes that draft mindset.
They don't care about the picks now because you overachieved a little bit. But I think the Knicks front office is going to stick to the same plan no matter what. they're not
But
gonna.
we are.
They're
But we
not
are
gonna
good. We're good because we got Dallas's pick.
picks.
I
Yeah,
don't
Yeah,
have, and we are playing with house
there's
money.
money.
And the
Yeah,
thing is,
yeah.
it's like we can't worry about the draft because it's a lottery. It's like
yeah,
some woman won what is it, almost $1 billion in the lottery. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We never
2
think about
weeks
all
ago.
those people that put a lot of money on them tickets that missed it.
Nope.
It is what it is. You
yeah.
get lucky.
She got the money from somewhere, right? It ain't the government ain't just
Yeah.
give it to her.
And as I
Yeah, and
said too, is you don't need the top 5 picks in this draft. You can get.
okay.
I'm telling you, there's a guy in the second round, beginning of the second round. He's a shooting big man, a shooting 5. He does what Mitch
Okay.
does, and he can shoot. Luke
Okay.
Garzaga, and they say, I think it's Garaza or someone out of
Yeah.
Iowa.
Luca Graza.
Yeah, they have hit like this year. They have him mocked in around like late first, early second, right? I heard someone saying that if he was in last year's draft, he'd have been a lottery pick. That's how deep the draft is. You're getting guys
Okay.
way back in the like late first, second round. So and then we're supposed to have now a wizard at drafting in Walt Perrin.
I tell you what, that Devin Vassell would have fitted well in Tibbs' system. So that's my only fear when you start talking that CAA stuff, Joe, and you the first one who started saying it, and I'm like, man, that Devin Vassell would have
Yeah.
fit great in Tibbs' system. 6'7", guarding, shooting open threes. That would have fit great
Mm-hmm.
because Obi's an open floor guy, and Tibbs ain't playing an ounce of open floor, and I don't
No,
think he'll be playing that anytime soon.
I don't think there was communication between the front. I think Leon Rose had his heart set on Obi no matter what. But I think Tibbs fooled us. Probably fooled them too, saying that he was gonna that his year and a half off or whatever he's worked. He's gonna change up his style a little bit. He's not gonna give guys any minutes. I call bull on that because everything really hasn't changed too much. The minutes are still there. The style is still there. He has guys that want to run, but he won't let them run. As I said, Mitch is a rim runner that don't rim run.
You Ghetto, you just mentioned Devin Vassell, and there's a article on Air Alamo. It says not Tibbs, Popovich is cutting his minutes for some
Oh,
strange
okay.
reason.
Yeah.
So I
Okay,
don't
that's
know.
weird. That's weird.
Yeah, he was averaging 18.3 minutes a game. Now he's down to 11.
Yeah. He's
I mean,
young. A lot of
those old school coaches, man. It's like,
Yeah, they're not. Even though Pop is one of the best developing coaches in the league. You talking about a development coach? It don't get better than Pop. They draft somebody. Their head, and I think he has a lot to say in the picks. They work very well together. So okay, all right. So
so
I
let me speak
blame
let me
Freezy
speak
for that
from
because
a
I stole that from Freezy.
let me speak from a former high school player uh, standpoint. Sometimes getting benched has to motivate you to get your behind in the gym and make you a better person. Because I don't think anybody, if you go through adversity, you have only one choice: either to fall to adversity or come above it. Um, so even though I don't like the Knox benching, and I know he didn't play well, and I know I'm a Frank fan, and I want to see him play. At the end of the day, um, as a player, you have to go back into the gym, show your work ethic, be productive. They're paying you millions and millions of dollars for a sport that you love. It's your opportunity to um, do what you got to do to stay on the team. So as much as I agree with, yeah, we gotta play these players and play. Those players do have to
earn it.
earn their minutes, and maybe the silver lining is that while they're sitting on the bench wanting to play, whatever, that they're going to have to be ready. They're not playing. I don't think. My hope is that you know Tibbs is not just playing these veterans that are unproductive just because whatever. Maybe that's his best option. You know,
I'm
I
not
mean,
a
it's.
franker. I'm not a franker, but I do believe there's value in Frank around the NBA.
I
And
agree.
I saw some things in Frank before he got hurt, and I don't understand why Frank keeps getting hurt. But I
He
saw,
doesn't have his man body. He doesn't have his man
yeah,
body. Yeah,
I saw.
remember he was the youngest player in the league when he
Hmm.
got there. When he
Hmm.
got into the league, he was basically a high school, a skinny, frail high school player. And and we seen this a lot in the NBA. I remember Kobe, God rest his soul. I can't even watch another Kobe vid after
Yeah, I
last
don't do
year.
it.
But
Yeah, I don't
side
do it
note,
either. Wait,
but
going way too early.
one thing that Kobe said was when remember the I think the airball games against Utah. He
Hmm.
said he studied the tape. He found out that he didn't have enough muscle to get that shot up. Whatever. I remember how skinny Kobe was. The thing is that we have to wait 4 to 5 years for them to get that man body and to able to withstand an 82 game season. And I believe this is common with very frail, NBA players.
I saw a better jumper in Frank this year though, and I,
Yeah.
and I
Yes.
saw a tad bit more aggressive. And I just know Frank would have. This would have been if we didn't pull the guard. If we would have went power forward heavy like we did last year with the free agents, and not Burks, Bullocks, and Rivers, three guard type guys who were gonna just. It was gonna be impossible. I saw Frank once we signed Burks, Bullocks, and Rivers. I saw Frank's not getting any minutes this year,
Me
and I
neither.
didn't think quickly would get minutes, but I knew Frank wasn't
I
getting
didn't
minutes.
think either.
But but
And I
but
think I think the other argument about Frank also is that he didn't he have like four coaches in his whole
yes,
career.
yes,
He had to
yeah,
learn a system. He had to learn
yeah,
system after system. And plus,
yeah.
uh, 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 you have to be a dog. I said earlier, Frank was never made for New York.
No,
There's
no,
certain
that's just,
players
and
that
that's what I
come
was
in.
gonna go
He
to. He
and
didn't
you
have the
know
mentality,
yeah,
but
French
they still
kid.
are playing his style, though. CP, they are
Yeah.
playing his style. Half court, walk it up,
Yes.
move without the ball,
Yes.
get the
Oh
ball to
man.
somebody. So that's the only thing I'm like, man, are we sure about this Frank thing? But I'm not a Franker. But I would
I
like to see
understand.
him get at least 6 minutes a game. Jeez.
I
Right.
would start him
Right.
over Alfred Payton because at least he's a threat from the shooting position because he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands. You see it, the offense is running through Julius. And I hate when it's Julius double team, triple team, then he's kicking it out and it's Payton there shooting a three.
Yes.
I'd rather
I
see
would live.
Frank on the end of that because you know if there's a chance Frank can make it and his shot looked good. I'm not a big Frank fan. I think he was a reach and it was a screw up by Phil Jackson. I'm not going to get into that, but I still think that he can be more of a threat than Peyton is. Like Peyton's better, is a better facilitator and better in getting to the rim. But when you have the offense running through Julius, you need a guy, all guys on the floor that to kick out to need to be a threat from the 3 point line.
The only way we'll see Frank is if Peyton gets hurt. That's it. I think that. Well,
Put
no,
yeah,
I
put
take that back. I take that back because knowing Tibbs, he'll put Alec Burke at point guard.
yeah, he's done it
He
before.
did that. Yeah, he did that before. Yeah, yeah. Forgot all about that.
Yeah. Yeah, Tibbs is just stubborn. Tibbs he's going point guard by committee because to me, Quickly isn't really a point guard. To me, he's better off ball. Like when I seen him in college, but
Yeah,
he can play the point. He's just not a pure point guard.
I said that earlier. I brought up the point. Is he more his strength, Lou Williams, than what people are trying to fit him into as
Yeah,
a pure point guard? Because he's not a high assist guy. I think just the other day he had what 5 assists, but he averages like 2.3
yeah.
assists per game,
He's a
and
poor
you
first
see.
guard.
Yes, yes. And what I see is like he's looking for a shot, and once he's on, he's not going to stop shooting, which I don't mind. That's not even a knock. My thing is like, when you see Knox struggling, when you see Even when Burke is off the bench, Burke is not even effective when he's on the floor with Quickly. So it's like this black hole thing. You'll never know when you'll have the ball, and because they play at such a slow pace, it's that by the end of the shot clock, he got to shoot it. He has to shoot it. So it's like, and then as a former player, it's like I gotta touch it at least once to be effective. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Quickly's a great player. I'm not even gonna knock him. I'm afraid that some fans' expectations of him being a pure point guard. I think I would love to see him, with a facilitator, and that could get everybody involved. But fellas, I gotta go, man. This was a
CP.
pleasure. I'll see you guys again. Get out,
bro.
Nice to meet you, my
all right,
brother.
Joe.
All
You
right,
too,
take
chat.
care, my friend. We'll see you again, bro.
Chat.
You
Yes,
doing
sir.
any you doing any Black
What's
History
up?
Month pieces? You doing anything for Black History Month? A piece for Black History Month or?
Man, I'm Black History all year, my brother.
I was about
Man,
to
what you
say, okay,
talking
so you do.
about?
You do.
No. I'm doing a couple of behind the scenes things. Can't really talk about because I've
Okay.
signed NDAs.
You commission,
And,
so they're commission pieces.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about branding.
Oh,
Corporate
so you do
branding.
mostly branding.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a painter, but you see, because of COVID, and we're
Can't do your
not allowed to
gallery.
have exactly. So it's like that's been put on pause. So I've been focused on the corporate branding. So I got
Sweet.
some corporate branding that I'm doing right now, and that's what's keeping me busy.
Sweet.
So yeah, but
So
in the
CP,
future,
you do the little guys too?
the what?
You do little guys like us? Would you do little guys like us too, or are we not big enough?
He said you got some. He said he got some pieces available for sale. Is what
No,
he
I'm,
said.
Oh man,
no, I'm talking.
little guys, you ain't
Oh, you
little,
talking about
man.
your
Come on,
branding?
man.
I'm sorry.
Look. Even little guys could cut big checks.
Right. Yeah, right.
But hit me up, cpdartist.com.
Okay.
We can talk off air or whatever.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna check you out, man. This was very interesting, bro. Who you meet, you never know who you're gonna meet. So I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, man.
Man.
And now that I have this little, everybody, please follow your dreams. I'm gonna tell my story one day on my own channel, but 5 years ago I was homeless. 5 years ago I'm homeless, and I bought my own house, working for Joe Bluntons, working for a lot of my idols. You know what I mean? Never give up on your dream. Right now it's hard. A lot of people are out of work, but faith and determination, you're gonna get out of it. And I want to be that example that you can, even though when everything looks dark and grim. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're gonna get through this. We all gonna get through all this.
Yep. All right, y'all. I was gonna jump in, man, and say, we should probably wrap up right here.
Thank you.
Because
I was about to start Smalls talk with Joe. That's my man, but I didn't want it to get lovey-dovey or nothing like that.
Well. I mean, I'm saying because we got a busy weekend ahead, and so we're gonna have to probably pace ourselves some because I got to do the Knicks at Night podcast tonight.
All right, bro.
We got John Macri in the morning for about 10 to 20 minutes, and so we got to settle this Blanche Tears debate champ thing this weekend. We got 2 games this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 1:00. So it's gonna be a bunch of stuff. But I'm gonna wrap right here. Thanks to everybody that's coming through. Hey, the Ghetto Intellect was great as well. Thank you, GI, man, for all you do, man. That was excellent. All right, so we're gonna end it right here, y'all. Peace.